presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are country.
It is a picture-perfect afternoon for baseball here at Coors Field. Getaway day in Denver. The Dodgers still with the best record in the National League, finishing off the three-game series with the Colorado Rockies. Hello, everyone. So glad you could join us for Dodger baseball with my partner, Steve Lyons. I am Eric Collins, and it has already been a monumental day in the history of the Dodger franchise. Earlier today, back in Los Angeles at Dodger Stadium, the Dodgers' new ownership group announced. Dodgers now owned by Guggenheim Baseball Management. Of course, Mark Walter, he is the new owner. Stan Kasten, the new CEO. Irvin Magic Johnson, he will be heavily involved.
It's such an exciting day, and I would think that Dodger fans have been glued to their TV sets over the last couple of hours listening to the new announcement of the new management. And don't go anywhere, because guess what? Clayton Kershaw is on the mound today in getaway day here in Colorado. Clayton hasn't had the best of numbers here in Colorado, but look over his last 14 starts. Forget about what he's done here, and look at what he's done right there on your screen. 10 straight decisions he's won. If he wins again today, he'll be the only other guy to get 11 in this amount of time for the LA Dodgers. Oral Hershiser back in 1985. So it's been a long time since anyone's had this kind of run.
Yeah, yesterday the Dodgers picking up a win. They won by a score of 7-6. So yet another one-run win for the Dodgers. We'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, we will talk one-run ball games. The Dodgers continue to win the tight ones. Set Dodgers a loser on Monday. Yesterday, the Dodgers, yet another one-run win. They won 7-6. With Steve Lyons, I'm Eric Collins. Seems to be the theme of the day. The Dodgers always play the close ones, and more often than not, they win those close ones.
Yeah, and the Dodgers would really like to see that formula change a little bit. They're playing exciting baseball. You see the 12-4 record, games decided 1 or 2 runs. You see the walk-off by Skinny Swag. Then you see Matt Kemp go deep for another walk-off. These are a lot of fun games to play. And last night you see Javi Guerra break Cargo's bat, and he didn't even hit his bat. That was a nice little kickoff for Guerra to get back into his action and throw the ball very well. Today, it's Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah, Clayton Kershaw and the Dodgers, they'd love to have a lapper on getaway day. Kershaw taking the mound against the Rockies. We'll have our first pitch in a moment. Hyundai, the votes are in. The Hyundai Elantra is the 2012 North American Car of the Year. Visit your Southern California Hyundai dealer today. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. By CarMax, start the search for your next car at CarMax. Start here. And by Dodge. So glad to have you here in Denver, Colorado. Third and final game of this series. Don Mattingly's Dodgers trying to take the series from Jim Tracy's Rockies. Each side has won one game so far. Dodgers a winner yesterday, 7-6. They scored the game's first 7 runs and then had to hold on for dear life. But they normally do win when the games are decided by 1 run. The Dodgers now 9-3 in 1-run games so far this season. Here's the Dodger batting order. Tony Gwynn leading things off. He's got 3 hits so far in the series. Mark Ellis, a 4-hit day yesterday. Matt Kemp, Juan Rivera, Andre Ethier hits 5th. Jerry Hairston over at 3rd, replacing Juan Uribe. Justin Sellers spelling D. Gordon at shortstop with A.J. Hellis behind home plate, catching Clayton Kershaw.
On the mound today for the Rockies, Drew Pomeranz. This guy is a big kid, 6'5", 240, just 23 years old, big lefty. It's the guy who throws in the mid-90s of fastball. He was sort of the prime get in the Ubaldo Jimenez deal when they sent him to Cleveland. Pomeranz came over here. He said that he does throw hard, but as you talked to him about his curveball, this guy had a big 12-6 curveball. But as we've talked about all series long here, it's really tough to throw a nasty breaking ball in the altitude here. Ball just doesn't break. It doesn't take, as they say. And so he's had to really alter that pitch. We'll see how well he does with it today.
Defensively, the Rockies align this way. Carlos Gonzalez, a Gold Glove out in left field. Dexter Fowler can go get it in center. Michael Kadire, serviceable in right. Chris Nelson once again at third. Tulowitzki, the shortstop. His Keystone partner, Jonathan Herrera. Todd Helton, the veteran first baseman, with Pomerantz throwing to the rookie, Willen Rosario. Dodgers hitting .260 as a team. The power has come along so far in this series. 4 home runs for the Dodgers, including 3 yesterday. A leadoff home run for D. Gordon in yesterday's game. Andre Ether followed 3 batters later with a home run of his own, his 6th of the season.
Half of those home runs coming from guys not named Kemp and Ethier. That's a good sign for this ball club. Certainly you'd love to see Kemp and Ethier continue on and crush the ball, but they've needed more offense from other guys in the lineup. And last night, Mark Ellis with 4 hits, A.J. Ellis with the home run, and D. Gordon with a home run.
Well, runs generally aren't a problem when Clayton Kershaw is on the mound so far this year. He has gotten a wealth of support. See if the Dodgers can keep it up today. So far, 23 hits in the series for the Dodgers, 9 on Monday and 14 yesterday. Dodgers winners of 4 of their last 5 games, 17 wins, 7 losses through the first 24 games this year. All right, here we go. The big left-hander, Pomerantz, rocks and fires. Strike 1. 4th start of the year for Drew Pomerantz. First time he has ever faced the Dodgers. Left his last start on Friday against the Mets with left forearm soreness. A little bit inside. Home plate umpire today, Paul Schreiber. Down the first base line, Tim Welke. Laz Diaz, second base umpire. Mike Everett is at third. A little bit high. First 2 games of this series, we started with game time temperatures of 75 degrees. We kicked it up a notch today, 76 degrees for afternoon baseball here at Coors.
Couldn't ask for better weather than what we've seen over the last 3 days. Pomerantz has a little bit of a strange delivery. He's kind of a short armor for a guy his size. We mentioned 6'5", 240. Throws the ball, doesn't really drop and drive, doesn't stretch his arm all the way out, throws a little bit like a left-handed catcher.
Foul tip into the catcher's mitt. Pomerantz gets a strikeout to begin the ball game. This time 2 years ago, Drew Pomerantz was still pitching in college. He was the SEC Player of the Year as a junior at Ole Miss. Just sped through the minor league organizations of both the Indians and now the Rockies. Now a regular in Jim Tracy's rotation. His first pitch to Mark Ellis misses inside. Pomerantz, 6'5", 240 pounds, 23-year-old left-hander. They think he's got a great future here in Denver.
I remember Sid Fernandez, who was a pitcher out of Hawaii, pitched for the Mets, throws a little bit like Pomerantz, maybe a little more exaggerated short arm. Used to be the closer here in Colorado, Brian Fuentes. He was very much more exaggerated, threw it really stiff-armed.
3-0. Ellis yesterday 4 for 5 against his former team. 5 for 9 in the series. Matt Kemp awaits on deck. Mark swung at ball 4. With the 4 hits yesterday, Ellis has kicked the batting average up to 280. Began the game yesterday hitting 247. Stays alive, fouls at third base side. After today's game, the Dodgers will head over to Chicago, have an off day tomorrow, and then have 3 over the weekend at Wrigley Field. All 3 of those games will be played under the sun. Day baseball 4 straight games for the Dodgers. Called strike 3. Pomeranz has struck out the first 2 men he's faced.
Well, we saw Tulowitzki get called out on a 3rd strike at a ball right above his belt buckle, and Don Mattingly saying this one's too high. Take a look. Yeah, that's in today's game, that's an awfully high strike to get called.
10th time this year that Mark Ellis has struck out. 10 strikeouts and 83 at-bats. Pomeranz has struck out Gwynn and Ellis to begin the game. Now what'll happen with Matt Kemp at the plate?
Matt Kemp playing in his 390th straight game. Leads all of Major League Baseball in consecutive games played.
Kemp has not ripped it up here at Coors Field like he normally does. Does have a homer back on Monday, but just 2 hits and 8 at-bats so far in the series. Another Dodger who normally lights up Coors Field, James Loney, not in the lineup today against the left-hander Pomeranz. 3-0.
There's big game.
Clayton Kershaw lying in wait. 3-0 pitch taken outside. 4-pitch walk to Kemp. There's some respect right there. Pomeranz strikes out Gwynn and Ellis to begin the game, then wants no part of Matt Kemp.
We talked about the fact that Matt Kemp has not been intentionally walked all season, but he really has been. They just don't stand up and throw the 4 pitches wide of the strike zone. They just don't throw the ball over the plate.
So Kemp will get his lead off of first, and Juan Rivera back in the starting lineup. Still not out in the outfield, but getting a chance to play first base today. We have seen him pinch hit in each of the last 2 games. Coming back from a hamstring injury, he takes called strike 1. Don Mattingly before the game telling us that it's not going to be long before we see Rivera in the outfield again. Maybe with the day off tomorrow, there's a good chance that Juan will be in left field on Friday at Wrigley Field. Chopped foul at the plate, 0-2. One thing that Juan has done really well so far this year is battle. Just 2 strikeouts so far this year and 60 at-bats.
Pomeranz done a good job of getting ahead with a 4-seam fastball to the right-handers like Mark Ellis. And then once he gets ahead, throws a cut fastball in on the hands like he did right there to Rivera. Now he's heading to count 0-2.
Jim Tracy going to check on his young catcher Rosario.
That ball looked like it got fouled off in between the pads of Rosario.
Steve, big picture wise with Drew Pomeranz, he's a guy who comes with a pedigree. We mentioned that he was the 5th player taken overall in the draft 2 years ago by the Indians. How much scouting actually is done to see whether or not Pomeranz would be a good fit for pitching at altitude? When they were thinking about making the trade for Ubaldo Jimenez, involving Ubaldo Jimenez, do you think that the scouts said, you know what, Pomeranz has got the type of stuff that would work here at altitude?
Well, I think this organization has to look at that more than any other organization than, say, like Cincinnati, which is a bad place if you're a fly ball pitcher. This is a bad place if you're a fly ball pitcher. You got to be able to keep the ball down, sink it a little bit, cut it like he does, and as he has done, altered his breaking ball to throw more sliders or throw more of a sharper breaking ball than a big looping one. So they absolutely have to look at it, but they are also looking at getting an outstanding prospect in him, and they made that deal.
Kemp on at first. 2 outs. Pitch misses high. And Drew Pomeranz, when he was a collegiate at Ole Miss, had a big sweeping breaking ball. One of those 12-6 nose-to-toes breaking balls. Haven't seen one of those so far today. There's a curveball, misses outside.
Well, I don't know if Matt Kemp will go on first move here. Here's the breaking ball you were talking about. It just doesn't take. It just can't really do its normal action with the altitude and the thin air. good pitch for Matt Kemp to run. We saw him run on first move yesterday and got picked off.
Not going. Rivera backed away. So we're going to go full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Now, of course, Matt Kemp will be off.
Well, that's a pretty sharp cutter that he's throwing so far early in the game. Throwing it hard in on the hands of righties. If you think it's going to be a strike and you go to swing at it, you're going to get a fistful of baseball. Terrible. I know you're over there. Move and throw to first base. That's not getting anybody. Matt Kemp now in a situation where he will be running, but it's a cardinal sin to get picked off in this situation. So he's not looking to get a great jump. He wants to make sure Pomerantz goes home before he leaves.
And Rivera stays alive.
In this situation with 2 outs, it's not a possible strike him out, throw him out situation. So really you're just trying to get your runner in motion. If Rivera can hit a gap, Matt Kemp easily has the speed to score all the way from first if he has a, if he's on his way to second base when the pitch is thrown.
Softly hit. Third baseman Nelson. Side is retired. No runs, no hits, 1 runner left on. Home half of the first. When we come back, Clayton Kershaw will be on the mound. Head to the bat rack and take on Clayton Kershaw is the way they line up. Eric Young getting the day off, so the new leadoff hitter is Jonathan Herrera. Dexter Fowler hits second. Carlos Gonzalez in the 3-hole. Tulowitzki, Helton, and Kadire. They combined for 619 big league homers. Will and Rosario got a lot of pop at the catcher spot. Chris Nelson over at third with the pitcher Drew Pomerantz. And here we go. Clayton Kershaw, his first pitch is a called strike 1.
Clayton Kershaw in his last outing went 8 innings, gave up 2 runs versus the Washington Nationals. And another good outing for him.
Hard right to the third baseman, and Hairston makes the play.
Hairston either lost that ball in the crowd, or he's right on top of the play, obviously thinking about a bunt. But that ball might have been hit actually a little softer than he thought it was. It's almost like you get hit a changeup. You think it's smoked at you. And it's almost like trying to hit a changeup. Still made the play like he's been doing all season long. He has had some outstanding defensive plays at third base, which is not naturally his best position. Second base, center field.
Here's Dexter Fowler. Swings at the first pitch to the shortstop, Justin Sellers. And quickly we have 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. Defensively, the outfield of Gwynn, Kemp, and Ethier still has not made an error through the first 25 games of the year. Jerry Hairston Jr. playing third. Juan Uribe still out. Justin Sellers at shortstop hasn't made an error. Either has Mark Ellis, Juan Rivera at first, and Clayton Kershaw throwing to A.J. Ellis, who has caught every single inning so far in this series. Here's Carlos Gonzalez. He has been on a tear. You could make the argument that Carlos Gonzalez has replaced Matt Kemp as the hottest hitter in the National League. Batting average up to 300, 5 homers. Since April 24th, he's 12 for 30 with 5 of his 12 hits being homers.
509 over his last 13 games. Had an outstanding week last week, was a candidate for Player of the Week. He had 391 with 4 homers and 11 RBIs, and he hasn't quit. Does not hit Clayton Kershaw well. 3 for 18 in his career.
Pitch misses down low. 3 balls and a strike to Carlos Gonzalez. Gonzalez, a 2-run home run in the 6th inning of yesterday's game. At the time, the Dodgers were up 7-0, cruising along. Then a 2-run 6th, the 3-run 7th, another run in the 8th. In a ball game once again, Dodgers had to hold on for dear life, and they did, winning it 7-6.
Well, all my friends are saying that the only reason he hit that home run is because you mentioned that the last guy that hit a home run off of Ted Lilly was Cargo.
3-2. Swung on it, missed. Nice first inning for Kershaw. He goes 1, 2, 3. He throws just 9 pitches. In the bottom of the first inning to go 1, 2, 3. Herrera, Fowler, and Gonzalez. Gonzalez, a strikeout victim. Now the Dodgers try and get him some run support through Pomeranz. Just a 2-out walk to Matt Kemp in his half of the first inning. Now he'll face Ethier, Hairston, and Justin Sellers. Andre, those 27 runs batted in, the most in all of baseball. Had a 3-run home run in yesterday's game. That gave the Dodgers a 4-0 lead in the first inning. Dodgers, throughout the course of the season, have been jumping on teams early.
I'm amazed at how many RBIs that Andre Ethier has been able to put up on the board so far this season because of where he hits in the lineup. Everyone talks, well, he's number 4 hitter, he's a cleanup guy. Bottom line is this team is designed to get D. Gordon home before Andre Ethier ever comes to the plate. And let's face it, they have not scored runs in bunches. So he comes to the plate a lot in this situation where he's leading off an inning. Still leads all of baseball in RBIs. If there's a guy out there, he's driven him in.
And this year, much improved against left-handed pitching. Andre hitting .294, 10 hits and 34 at bats with a homer, and 12 RBIs against southpaw. Looked a little bit confused there. Counts even 2-2. Andre does lead the Dodgers in strikeouts. He's fanned 25 times. Kemp struck out 23 times. Pomeranz got a nice arm. That's his third strikeout of the game.
Pretty good cutter. It's tough on anybody. You know, put it in perspective again. How could you possibly lead all of baseball in RBIs if I hit in front of you almost always and I have 12 home runs? You're showing up at least 12 times this year with nobody on. And leading off innings like he has. It's really amazing.
One out. Here's Jerry Hairston. He takes outside for a ball. Jerry hitting .300 right on the nose. Still looking for his first Dodger run batted in. 12 hits and 40 at bats wearing Dodger blue. 2-0 now. Jerry getting a chance to play at third as Juan Uribe is still concerned about that left wrist that caused him to miss time last week. Dodgers hoping to know more about Uribe's status come Friday. Maybe a type of situation where Uribe has to spend a little bit of time on the disabled list, because Don Mattingly just can't afford to be shorthanded on his bench. Yesterday we saw Adam Kennedy play third. Today Hairston.
Well, he's had to deal with being short with Rivera hurt and not on the DL, and Uribe hurt and not on the DL.
I do like the construction of this roster, though, because there's a lot of guys like Justin Sellers, Jerry Hairston, Adam Kennedy that can play all over the field for you. Juan Rivera can play the outfield, play first. Pop up. Just onto the outfield grass. Gold Glover Tulowitzki makes the play.
How about Tulowitzki? Kind of an old school player wearing the old school flip down shades. There's a little tab on those glasses that poke out from underneath the bill of the cap. You could see it right there. When the ball goes up, you're supposed to find the ball in the air. You see Todd Helton wearing the same ones. Find the ball first and then just tap the bill of your cap. That'll flip your glasses down. Very few guys wear those anymore. They wear the Oakleys or another brand of sunglasses that they'll wear all the time. Helton and Tulowitzki are guys that you would think would be a little more old school, aren't they?
1 ball, no strikes to Justin Sellers. 3 for 17 on the year. He takes outside, 2-0. So with Sellers playing at short today, that means that D. Gordon gets a little bit more time to soak in and enjoy his first big league homer. Off the thumbs. Going to be a tough play. Tulowitzki spins and makes it. He is fun to watch. Showed some great range to the left side and then a beautiful arm to get it to first.
A lot of guys can make this throw, this play. Not too many of them can make that throw. Jeez.
He will lead things off against Clayton Kershaw. Tulowitzki, Helton, and Kadire to bat in the second inning. Clayton needed just 9 pitches to get out of the first.
Tulowitzki over his career a .229 hitter against Clayton Kershaw. It's actually pretty good. Many more guys out there don't come close to that. You have to be amazed at what Tulowitzki can do at short. Been regarded as one of the best National League shortstops in the game, really, since he came up. Won a Gold Glove last year. You got to remember that he's 6'3", 220. It's a lot of man to be covering that kind of ground. Watch the play he made to end that inning. A lot of guys can get to this ball. You have to reverse pivot to keep your momentum going towards the play. But getting this much on the throw, impossible. To get Sellers, who runs very well down the line. Just amazing. He's falling down away from this play, keeps his balance enough to be able to square up and make a strong throw. Rocky fans have been used to seeing that for a lot of years now.
I was talking to Tulo before the series began, and he was telling me growing up, Northern California, he was not on anyone's radar. Didn't get drafted out of high school. He was a skinny guy, defense first, shortstop. And it wasn't because he had a strong commitment to go to Long Beach State that he didn't get drafted. Just didn't get drafted because he wasn't a pro prospect. And he got in the weight room, same weight room at Long Beach State that made Evan Longoria into a player. Put on some muscle mass and really learned how to hit with authority and became a first-round draft pick of the Rockies.
Told me he won the Gold Glove last year, but he really felt like his best season was actually his rookie year in 07. He made more errors that year than any year. He made 11. And he said he just felt like he had his best defensive season that year.
Swing and a miss. Second strikeout for Kershaw.
Well, this is unhittable, and this is Clayton Kershaw. Make him one of the best hitters in the National League looks silly.
We talked about Pomerantz and maybe changing some of the things he does pitching in altitude. Does Clayton Kershaw have to change his repertoire pitching here in Denver?
You know, I don't think so. I think you'll probably see a few more sliders than curveballs, because a curveball is a ball that's a little loopier than a slider. You're going to throw your slider harder. There's one right there. And he doesn't pitch here enough to think about altering. I think he's going to come in with what he thinks is his best stuff and see how it's reacting. Javi Guerra told me last night he just was very conscious after watching Josh Lindblom go out there and see that his breaking balls were rolling to the plate rather than really breaking. He said, I had to be really conscious of pulling down on everything that I threw. Reach out and pull down hard on it to get it to break.
Helton takes a fastball inside. 2-1. Clayton Kershaw, over the years, 9 starts here at Coors Field. 3-3, he'll take that. But the ERA really close to 6. That is un-Clayton Kershaw-esque.
More than 3 points higher than his normal ERA of anywhere else.
Out of play, left field side. Kershaw looking for 3 straight strikeouts. This is up and in, 94 miles per hour. Wow. Got him. So he strikes out Carlos Gonzalez, Troy Tulowitzki, and Todd Helton.
It's going right through the middle of the order like a I mean, those guys are some pretty good hitters. Dodger fans have watched this series. They've watched those guys swing the bat pretty well. If you're sitting on that Colorado bench, you're like, you guys can't hit them.
So here's Michael Kadire. He takes a breaking ball for a strike. Kadire, the longtime Minnesota Twin. This is his first look at Clayton Kershaw. And he's quickly down in the count 0-2. What would you, if you're Todd Helton and Michael Kadire sitting after you, and Kadire's never faced Kershaw, what would Helton tell Kadire?
I tell him to try to hit early in the count, get the first fastball you can see, and swing at it. The problem is that his slider looks exactly like his fastball. That's why he gets so many strikeouts with it.
That is just foul, and the count remains 0-2.
Clayton has great command of the pitches that he throws. And so he can throw his slider or his curveball for a strike if he wants to get a called strike, or he can throw it out of the strike zone to get you to swing at bad pitches. And early in the count, he knows guys are going to go up there trying to swing early.
First hit of the day for either side. 2-out single for Kadire.
Kadire is going to be just an outstanding addition to this team. He's just a professional player with a lot of talent. Had a season, I believe, back in 06 where he drove in 106 runs. 20 home runs last year for the Twins. It was a bad Twins ball club. He's happy to be back on a veteran team.
So here's the catcher, Willen Rosario. First couple of games of this series, we saw Ramon Hernandez. Now Rosario catching the day game after a night game. He takes called strike one. They think this kid's really got a chance. Baseball America in the offseason ranked him as the 4th best prospect in the Rockies chain. Drew Pomeranz, the top prospect.
Oh.
Kadire leaning, able to get back to first.
That wasn't even Clayton's best move. That was just like, I know you're over there, and he still almost picked him off.
On the ground, should end the inning. Sellers goes the short way. Dangerous play. They just barely get Kadire. Side retired on the 6-4 putout. Through 2, scoreless game in Denver. Receiver from AT&T Uber. Visit AT&T.com/free your TV. Rethink possible. By El Pollo Loco. Crazy you can taste. And by Mercury Insurance. Get a free quote and get 2 Dodger tickets at Dodgers.com/Mercury. Third and final game of this series here at Coors Field. Dodgers and Rockies. Scoreless as we play the 3rd inning. A couple of young left-handers with really good arms doing battle. Clayton Kershaw for the Dodgers. That man, Drew Pomeranz, for the Rockies. Clayton will hit second here in the 3rd. It'll be A.J. Ellis, Kershaw, and then back to the top of the lineup, and Tony Gwynn Jr. AJ walks to the plate with some swagger.
I hope so.
Home run in yesterday's game. Batting average of .435 in the last 7 games played for him.
I like where AJ is standing on the plate. He's off the plate. That cut fastball that Pomerantz throws, he'd have to throw it way in off the plate to have it be a really effective pitch on AJ Ellis. If he doesn't, if he tries to throw that cutter and leaves it on the inner half, that is the pitch that AJ can hit out of the park. We saw him do it yesterday. He's got 2 home runs on the year. You see him this far off the plate, a good 18 inches to 2 feet off the plate where his feet are.
First 3 pitches here in the 3rd inning have missed the mark. And it's 3-0 to Ellis, who leads the Dodgers with 15 walks. That's the 7th best in the National League. Because of those 15 walks, AJ has an on-base percentage of .446. Only David Wright of the Mets and Matt Kemp reach base more frequently in the National League than AJ.
AJ sees 4.7 pitches per at bat. He's seen 5 in this one.
Are you becoming a stat rat?
No, but I just think it's interesting. There's only 3 guys in baseball that see more pitches than he does. He almost never swings at a first pitch, and he gets another walk.
Leadoff walk to AJ Ellis, his 16th walk of the season. Follow the Dodgers with MLB.com at bat 12 for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at bat to 31826 or visit Dodgers.com for details.
I have no idea what AJ Ellis's WAR is. Clayton Kershaw can drop a bunt down. Great form, and he works at it.
Uh-oh. Todd Helton didn't expect to throw to first base. I think he wants to talk things over with the rookie left-hander.
Well, he's got to come in and field the bunt, so he's already sneaking in, and it's like, whoa, wait a minute. He's got to get on the same page over there. Pomerantz will not be an easy guy to bunt. Look at Clayton.
Barehanded by Pomerantz, underhanded flip. 1-4 on the sacrifice. Moving into scoring position goes Ellis.
Just another way to make himself just a complete player, not just a great pitcher. That ball's up in the zone. It's a tough pitch to bunt. You can pop it up. We saw James Loney pop a pitch up like that. But Clayton just has great fundamentals with his bunting. He gets himself into perfect position and then bunts the ball with his legs. If he has to go up, he stands up a little straighter. If the ball's lower, he keeps his bat at his eye level and bends his knees, doesn't move his bat to go bunt that ball. Excellent job.
Here's Tony Gwynn Jr. He led off the game by striking out against Pomerantz. First time through the lineup. Pomerantz living dangerously. He's only thrown a first pitch strike to 3 of the 9 batters he's faced so far. So he's, for the most part, working from behind. There's a strike. Lifted foul and out of play. Dodgers 7 runs on 14 hits in yesterday's game, including 3 homers. 9 hits on Monday, only able to score twice. Did have the home run by Matt Kemp. Looking for their first hit against Pomerantz. This one fouled at the plate, 0-2.
Cool cued that ball right off the end of the bat. Sometimes a guy will be so far out in front of the pitch that he literally, when your swing comes around, the ball hits right off the end of your bat. And that's what happened to Tony Gwynn right there.
Oh-2 pitch. Line right to Helton at first. They can't double up Ellis. Gwynn hit it right on the screws, but Todd Helton's won a couple of Gold Gloves in his career.
The Dodgers haven't really had great luck in this series with hitting balls hard like that. Right at guys. The bases loaded in last night's ball game. James Loney hit a bullet right at the second baseman. There you see Tony Gwynn hit another one. A lot of line drives, a lot of atom balls.
So 2 outs now, and leave it up to Mark Ellis to drive in A.J. Ellis. Strike one called. Mark struck out looking in the first inning. He didn't agree with the call. He's down in the count 0-2.
You know what I like so far in this ball game with Rosario behind the plate, the rookie sensation here that they really like. They talk a lot about his offense. They think he can be an all-star. I think he can hit 30 home runs. I love his actions behind the plate. I like the way he's calling the game. And Jim Tracy has a lot of confidence in him. They need to get him at bats because he's a young kid. They don't want him sitting on the bench. They're trying to do kind of a 2-in-1 formula. Give Hernandez 2 games, get him in there for 1. Looks like a leader, though, doesn't he? Just looks like he's commanding the game.
No balls, 2 strikes to Mark Ellis. Ellis among the league leaders with 17 runs scored. But he hadn't been very successful driving in runs himself. Just 2 RBIs. He's 1 for 18 on the season, batting with runners in scoring position. Down in the dirt, Rosario. Nice block. Steve, when you look at numbers, like batting average, runners in scoring position, is that just luck of the draw? Those things even out? Or do guys actually have different thought processes when they're at the plate and runners in scoring position and they do things differently?
Yeah, a lot of guys do things differently. And we talked about Mark Ellis all season long, that he has a responsibility when he comes to the plate. And usually that is to move a guy over. In this instance, it is to get a guy in. And 1 for 18 is not good with runners in scoring position. And that can start to wear on you as a hitter. Like, man, I got 2 RBIs. I got to do something. I have come up with at least 18 guys out there. So you start to worry about it, start thinking about it. But he also knows that his main job is to make sure that other guys score.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Matt Kemp on deck. Hey, there's a base hit to left field. Let's see if Wallach sends A.J. He is. A.J. rounding third. The play at the plate. He's safe. Dodgers score the game's first run.
Jim Tracy's going to come out and argue that play. It looked like A.J. made a great slide away from the tag. Rosario may not have had it blocked it off, or the throw may have pulled him away from the plate a little bit. Check it out again. Now there's hitting with men in scoring position right there. Those numbers are going to go up. Funny little hop for Cargo out there. He had to field it off to the side and see the throw pull Rosario away. And by the time he tags A.J. on the elbow, his foot's already on the plate. A.J. going away from the play. Good job. It's a good call at home, too.
So Mark Ellis drives in A.J. Ellis with a 2-out single. Mark Ellis now has 5 hits in the last 2 games. 4 of those 5 hits have come when he's had 2 strikes on him. So because of the battle of Mark Ellis, the Dodgers take a 1-0 lead. Kemp takes down low.
Take another look at this play. See how the throw is going to pull Rosario away. Now he has to reach all the way back, and there's the foot on home plate when he gets tagged up on the shoulder and elbow.
And Matt Kemp's going to be intentionally walked for the first time this year. They gave Pomerantz 1 pitch to see if they could get Kemp to chase it. He didn't, and now they're going to intentionally put Matt on.
Kemp's had 89 at-bats on the season. He was intentionally walked 24 times last year. And in the first game of this series, when all the reporters came to talk to Jim Tracy, you and I sat there and listened to him saying, I think it's time for the Barry Bonds treatment. I'm not going to put this guy in a position where he can beat us.
So runners now on at first and at second, and Juan Rivera will bat. Second time today that Kemp has been walked. The first time was of the unintentional variety. Dodgers now with 1 run, just 1 hit, but they've had their share of base runners, 3 walks now.
Juan Rivera, the next guy in the lineup that needs to make this hurt.
Outside for a ball. On bounce to third to end the first inning.
Davey Lopes, one of his other jobs in this situation is to be the eyes for Matt Kemp. Matt Kemp is going to get huge lead out there at first base. Here's the relation between Kemp and Helton and Davey Lopes. Helton could decide to sneak in here from the catcher and pick him off. He's going to get a really big lead. Kemp needs to make sure that he's conscious of that and not getting so far out there that the Rockies can get a cheap out on a pickoff from the catcher.
Little flare. It's going to stay in the infield. Pomerantz makes the basket catch. Side retired. But the Dodgers get a run for Clayton Kershaw to work with. They lead 1-0. Home half of the third when we come back. A.J. Ellis, 2 out, 2-strike single to left field. Nice line by A.J. Ellis to get away from the tag by the catcher Rosario. And now Clayton Kershaw back to the mound with a little bit of pad, not much. Clayton has given up just 1 hit so far through 2 innings. He has struck out 3. His first pitch to Chris Nelson is ball 1. Nelson, the pitcher Pomerantz, and then Jonathan Herrera to bat in the third. That pitch misses. 3-0. Nelson, like Kershaw, first-round pick. Nelson taken out of Atlanta High School back in 2004, 9th overall. He walks on 4 pitches. Leadoff man aboard for the first time against Kershaw. This Mother's Day, give the gift of Dodger baseball and bring your mom to Dodger Stadium. Fans will receive an Andre Ethier tote bag, compliments of Murad skincare, and after the game, mothers and their families are invited down to the field to enjoy a walk around the park. To make your Mother's Day plans, Visit Dodgers.com/promotions today. Don't forget Mother on Mother's Day.
Never.
Pitcher Pomeranz lays down a bunt. Kershaw, lollipop throw over to the second baseman Ellis covering. And that's the first out here in the third inning.
Pomeranz, nice job getting the bunt down. It's one of those things in the game, especially for pitchers. You got to be able to bunt to help yourself out. And people really complain about it. It's like free throws in the game of basketball. You got to make them. You got to be able to bunt. But it is so much more difficult to say that you have to do it than to go out there and do it. And it's something that people have to work at and practice a lot in order to get good at it.
So the top and the bottom of the third innings start the exact same way. A walk and then a sacrifice, 1-4, putting a runner into scoring position. Now Jonathan Herrera lined out to first. Check that, lined out to third back in the first inning. And another liner to third, this time scooped up off the dirt by Hairston. You better try a different man, Mr. Herrera.
Herrera dislikes Jerry Hairston very much right now. I mean, he's hit 2 seeds down there and come up empty both times. There has been a guy standing at third base for a long time in this game, but you hit a ball that hard over there, you're expecting a base hit, and he's come up empty both.
Hairston still has not made an error for the Dodgers so far this year. He has been solid anywhere the Dodgers have placed him. 2 outs now. Dexter Fowler will bat. He's got a good history against Kershaw. 11 hits and 27 at bats.
I think Kershaw wants to change up the signs. I think when he went into his stretch and looked back, he saw Chris Nelson on second base. I think he feels like Nelson might be relaying signs to Dexter Fowler at home, which is completely legal. And I think Kershaw just may have wanted to switch it up a little bit.
Nice block by Ellis. And the runner on second base, Chris Nelson. And the guy at the plate, Dexter Fowler, they do have a relationship. They've been playing together for a long time. They both grew up in the Atlanta area. Played on the same East Cobb baseball team that traveled around the Deep South. There's Nelson, Dexter Fowler, Brian McCann of the Braves on that team. Micah Owings, Jeremy Hermida. How good were they?
Jason Hayward in that group as well? Or
I think he's a little bit younger.
Yeah. Frank Coor?
Frank Coor is a little bit older.
I'm 0 for 2.
Well, they all came to the East Cobb baseball program. Last 10 years, there has just been a pipeline in the Atlanta area to the big leagues. Pitch misses inside. 2 balls and a strike to Fowler. Switch hitter hitting from the right side. Mentioned he has a career batting average of .423 against Kershaw. Three and one.
Kershaw's tried to get in on Fowler with both the cut fastball and the slider right there, and he's just missed each time.
Got to be careful. If you lose Fowler, next man you have to face is Carlos Gonzalez. Broken bat, soft liner. Mark Ellis with the one hand. Side retired. Leadoff walk does no damage. We cruise along to inning number 4. Dodgers on top of the Rockies 1-0. innings has given up just one hit. He's walked a man, has not given up a run. Dodgers leading the Rockies 1-0 as we play the top of inning number 4. Dodgers scored their run off of Drew Pomeranz. 2 out, 2 strike single by Mark Ellis. Driving in A.J. Ellis. Andre Ethier leads things off. Both Kershaw and Pomeranz with 3 strikeouts so far in the game. Andre hits it hard but foul right side. Dodgers the day off tomorrow, then 3 at Wrigley Field. Chad Billingsley, Chris Capuano, Aaron Harang scheduled to go against the Cubs. Paul Maholm, Matt Garza, and Chris Volstad will start for the Cubs. Routine to second. Herrera throws out Ethier. It's time now for our AT&T trivia question. Put your thinking caps on. Name the 3 players to finish in the top 10 of the National League MVP voting each of the last 3 years. I'll let you think about it. Here's Jerry Hairston Jr. Jerry popped a short back in the 2nd inning. Drew Pomeranz actually has some ties to the Dodger organization. They're close ties. His brother just last year played in the Dodgers minor league organization. Stuart Pomeranz was a member of the Chattanooga Lookouts, AA baseball, Southern League. Didn't last very long, only a couple of appearances out of the bullpen. Stuart is now with the Norfolk Tides, Baltimore Orioles organization. Softly to third. Nelson throws out Hairston.
Well, this could be a nice long battle between 2 outstanding pitchers if Pomeranz can continually get in on the right-handed hitters like he has been so far. It's a good pitch. His cutter looks like a fastball you can hit, and then it has a good sharp late break on it to get in on the fists of the hitters.
It would make sense for the Dodger hitters to get some runs off of Pomeranz because the Rockies bullpen has been lights out so far in the series. The Rockies bullpen in the series has gone 7 1/3 innings of scoreless baseball.
I think you have to give Jim Tracy a lot of credit for the way he has used his bullpen. He told us yesterday that he has guys out there that he feels like he can bring into the game, but he certainly doesn't have guys out there that can throw extended innings. So they're basically making appearances. I can bring one guy in to face 1 or 2 hitters. I got to get them out of there because they've been so overworked. He's been doing a good job of putting them in roles they can handle, and that bullpen has responded being very tired.
Sellers takes down low. Justin was robbed. Beautiful defensive play by Troy Tulowitzki. That ended the 2nd inning. One hopper behind the bag at second. Tulo picked it up, twirled, and fired a bullet to first. This one driven into the gap. Left center field. Fowler makes the play. Justin gave it a ride, but hit it to the wrong man. Fowler can cover a ton of ground. A 1-2-3 4th inning. Dodgers still up 1-0.
Coming up for the Rockies is the heart of the order, but it wasn't a big deal last time. Gonzalez, gone on a slider. Tulowitzki, gone on a curveball. Help, gone on a fastball. Struck out all three. Let's see how it goes this time around.
Bottom of the fourth inning, Dodgers on top of the Rockies 1-0. Kershaw trying to get above 500 in his career here at Coors Field. Gonzalez shows bunt. Fastball rides up and in on him. Gonzalez not a happy camper, ending yesterday's game with a strikeout. Cracked his bat at home plate. It's a good battle. Javi Guerra really showed something.
I did go down and ask him what the pitches were that he was throwing. I was lost. There was so much late movement on it that I thought maybe they were two-seam fastballs. He said they were sliders. Certainly the last pitch to Gonzalez was a slider. But the other pitches seemed to be breaking the other way. And he said, I just got inside the slider a little bit more, and it tends to dive either straight down or even go the other way a little bit. Haven't seen that pitch out of him very much. Talked about how everything else flattens out, so he didn't use the curve much at all. Went to the fastball and the slider. Great performance.
3 balls and a strike. Kershaw walked the leadoff man last inning. Gonzalez drills this one high and deep to center field. Kept going back, and this one's gone. Second straight day that Carlos Gonzalez hitting a home run off a Dodger left-hander, and we're tied at 1.
Talked about a few semi-cheap home runs that have been hit in this stadium. This isn't one of them. This ball is smoked pretty good. Kershaw puts his head down right away. It's a long way to run out there. Hit it into the trees.
That's just the second home run allowed this year by Kershaw. Swinging at the first pitch, Tulowitzki rounds out to Justin Sellers.
What does it say, though, how tough the Dodger pitchers have been on two of the best players in the game, Gonzalez and Tulowitzki. Gonzalez started that at-bat before he hit the home run, attempting to bunt. Tulowitzki tried to lay down a bunt in last night's game.
Here's the veteran, Todd Helton. He swings at the first pitch. Ellis from the outfield grass throws out Helton. So after the home run by Gonzalez, both Tulowitzki and Helton get their bats over quickly, swinging at the first pitch and grounding out.
Go up there and try to get the best pitch you can hit from him and hit early in the count. Now, if Clayton is moving the ball around to all 4 quadrants, you can fall right into his game plan by getting early, quick outs so that Clayton can last deeper and deeper into a ball game.
Michael Kadire. The first time he ever faced Clayton Kershaw back in the second inning. Single to left field. He says, what's the big deal?
I say a lot of guys on this team are surprised at how good an athlete Kadire is.
Like a lot of high school players, a shortstop when he was drafted. That was by the Minnesota Twins. Drafted in the first round back in 1997. Made it to the big leagues, played third, played some second, some first base, left and right. He's been mainly a right fielder here in Colorado. Very consistent big league hitter who's versatile defensively. A lot of value in that.
We talked about the fact that he signed a 3-year deal here with the Rockies. A lot of other teams only offering him 2, but they figured that Helton will be at the end of his contract at the end of next season. They may move Kadire over just to play first base in the final year of his deal until they figure out what they're going to do at that position. There is no prospect at any level in the organization to come up and play first base.
into center field. Kemp makes the play. Home run by Carlos Gonzalez ties it at 1. To the 5th we go in Denver.
April 13th, 1968.
Don Drysdale surpasses Dazzy Vance as the Dodgers' all-time wins leader. Drysdale notched his 191st career victory with a superb 4-hit shutout performance over the New York Mets. It was great foreshadowing of the dominance the Dodger right-hander would go on to display during that record-setting year.
Dodger Stadium celebrating 50 years this season. Dodgers on the road, but Dodger Stadium still hosting history today. This morning at Dodger Stadium, a press conference announcing the new Dodger ownership group. And Dodgers have had a lot of things happen in the history of Dodger baseball, and today's going to go down as a very momentous occasion. Peter O'Malley, one of the many dignitaries at Dodger Stadium this morning.
Very emotional day for a lot of people. Magic Johnson was emotional. I know a lot of fans emotional as well, as the pride that they take in this organization is soaring right now. That guy's a little emotional right now. Sitting next to his Dodgers-Lakers combo jersey there with Dodger shirt.
They just can't believe that
colors.
Clayton Kershaw gave up a home run.
Got a Cleveland hat on?
I think that is. It's all he needs hat.
It's all over the map.
A.J. Ellis against Drew Pomeranz here in the 5th inning, 1-1 tie. Ellis scored the Dodgers' only run. Had a leadoff walk in the 3rd inning. Moved to second on a sacrifice by Kershaw and scored on a 2-out single by Mark Ellis. Ball, 1 strike to Ellis.
Magic Johnson now becomes the face of the Dodger organization with the success that guy has had. Wow. How popular he is in the Los Angeles area. What he did as an athlete. What he's done as a businessman.
I think Stan Kasten, as the new CEO, is going to be a perfect fit. Dodger teams over the years have always been known as building from within, minor league systems that were always strong. Dodgers were known for that forever, and that's what Stan Kasten is used to building with the Atlanta Braves, most recently with the Washington Nationals.
Kasten's always been a brilliant baseball mind too, so you're looking at the right pieces of the puzzle are in place right now, with money behind the organization, baseball people running the baseball organization, and Magic Johnson to front the whole thing.
3 balls and 2 strikes now to Ellis. Into left field. Routine. Gonzalez makes the play. Magic shared his thoughts on Twitter earlier today, tweeting, "This is one of the happiest days of my life." Wow, considering all the things that he has seen
that he's
and
had
done,
to be happy about,
the championships that he's won at every single level. What a special time in Dodger history. Clayton Kershaw takes a fastball. Strike one. No official at bat for Clayton. Laid down a nice sacrifice back in the third. Oh, 2. Drew Pomeranz has been impressive so far.
Yes, he has.
How would you have liked to face Ole Miss a couple of years ago? When Pomeranz was a freshman, he pitched Saturday nights in the SEC. Starting pitcher on Friday nights was Lance Lynn, who was off to the great start with the Cardinals. 4 wins and an ERA of 1.33. So the first 2 games in every weekend series, you get Lance Lynn, and then you get a 18-year-old Pomeranz throwing 95 at you.
Be easy to come up with a sore hamstring for a couple of days and miss those 2.
I'll play on Sunday, Coach. 0-2, little looper, left field. Gonzalez going to have time, makes the play. First 2 outs recorded by the Rockies left fielder. Join the Dodgers on Saturday, May 19th for the Dodger Stadium 50th Anniversary Fan Fest, presented by State Farm. There will be autographs, music, live entertainment, games, and more. Gates open at 12 p.m. prior to the game against the Cardinals at 7:10. Entry is included with your ticket to the game. Visit Dodgers.com/50th today for tickets and more details. Third time today that Tony Gwynn will face Drew Pomeranz. Struck out and lined out. Nice breaking ball. 0-1. Hard right through the box. Just the second hit allowed by Pomeranz. 2-out base runner for the Dodgers.
This is what they call chuck and duck. Better get out of the way or field your position.
All right, Steve, this may be a running situation for Tony Gwynn and the Dodgers. Earlier this week, the Rockies had a special session before Monday's game with Pomeranz working on his pickoff to first base. They think he's got a real issue keeping runners close.
Well, he does, because he doesn't have a very good move, and he's big and tall and slow to the plate. It's a bad combination. If you're a lefty, you need 3 moves to first base. One doesn't have to be all that good. Another one is your move to home. You have to look like you're coming to first when you go to home, and then you have to have something for a guy over there to pick someone off. Sometimes it's a matter of holding the ball. Try to mess up the concentration and timing of a base stealer. You hold it for a long time, get someone to call timeout. But if you're not going to show Tony Gwynn a couple different moves over there after a couple pitches or after a couple throws over to first, he knows everything you've got. Slide step.
You just naturally think that left-handers have a built-in advantage stopping the running game, but maybe that's not the case.
There are a lot of lefties out there where their best move to hold a runner on is when they throw the ball to the plate. That is a subpar move to first base right there that's not going to fool or pick off anyone. He's used the slide step effectively so far. If you're Tony Gwynn and you're thinking about running, you might go on his first move right here. Thrown over twice. Tony Gwynn might be banking that he won't throw over 3 times. Pomeranz will probably slide step if he's going home this time.
Ellis breaks his bat. Pomeranz did have the slide step there.
people at home that don't understand the difference between a slide step and a regular motion towards home. Pitcher, if he wants to speed things up and wants to hold the runner, will not lift his front leg. In this case, Pomerant's right leg won't lift it up and go through the full motion of his stretch before he delivers the ball. He'll just take that leg and slide it quickly towards home and release the pitch. Some pitchers don't like to use a slide step because they feel like it really alters their motion, and they're afraid they're going to throw a fat pitch in there.
Ellis got tired of waiting. Ball and 2 strikes to Ellis. 2 outs. Tony Gwynn on at first. 1-1 tie. Top of inning number 5. Pomerantz has matched Clayton Kershaw pitch for pitch. Gwynn not going, and Ellis called strike 3. Second time today that Pomerantz has struck out Ellis looking. 4.5 in the books. 1-1 tie here at Coors. At Coors Field, Clayton Kershaw matching strikeout for strikeout with Drew Pomerantz. 7, 8, 9 in the Rocky lineup here. The bat in the 5th, Willen Rosario, Chris Nelson, and then the pitcher Pomerantz.
Got to get Rosario to swing at pitches out of the strike zone. This is a powerful hitter. And because he hasn't had a lot of playing time, the one thing Jim Tracy is worried about is that he won't have a good command of his own strike zone.
Deep to center field, Kemp going back, and it's gone.
That's what happens when he does have command of his strike zone.
Second straight inning in which a Rocky batter has gone right over the center field wall for a homer.
This kid is just so strong. Got a great smile. He's a lot of fun to be around. Spent some time with him on our first day here. Watch Kershaw's reaction. Fastball up and out over the plate. He knows that's a bad place to be in this ballpark. That's why you got to try to get that kid to swing at bad pitches.
Coming into this game, Kershaw had gone 30 1/3 innings, giving up just 1 home run. He's given up a pair of home runs in his last 5 batters faced. Carlos Gonzalez got him leading off the 4th. Willen Rosario gets him here leading off the 5th. First time today the Dodgers trailing the Rockies. Chris Nelson bounces out to Juan Rivera. Let's take a look at the answer for today's AT&T trivia question. Question: name the 3 players to finish in the top 10 of the NL MVP voting each of the last 3 years. Albert Pujols, Ryan Howard and Troy Tulowitzki. Did you have that, Steve?
Had Pujols, and that was about it.
So now Pomerantz hitting with the lead.
That was a list I was certainly never worried about being on.
Broken bat. Base hit for Pomerantz. That's kind of a hitter. That's his second hit in 4 bats on the season.
You know, I'm not trying to be disrespectful because the guy is really pitching a great game today, but he actually looks more comfortable at the plate than he does on the mound. It's kind of an awkward, bad move to first base. He throws a little bit short-armed, but man, he's got a nasty cut fastball, and he's really keeping the Dodger hitters off balance, and he's in their kitchen.
Jonathan Herrera swings and hits it deep to left field, right in front of the warning track. Wynn makes the play. You know what? I don't know. All season long, we have seen another team take as many confident swings against Kershaw as we've seen the Rockies today.
And early in the count, that's what we talked about at the outset of this ball game, is that those guys are going to go up there looking for a good pitch to hit that they could handle early and go to Hackett. Clayton's going to have to start making an adjustment and start hitting the corners a little bit better early in the count, either to get them to take pitches or swing and miss.
Here's Dexter Fowler. Oh, they got Pomerantz picked off. He somehow gets back to the bag. Didn't have much of a lead, but man, he was almost out number 3.
Well, Pomerantz is so tall, if he just falls down, he's halfway home.
I don't think he thought there was any chance that Kershaw's going to throw over there.
He's got about a 6-foot lead now. He's 6'5".
Dexter Fowler batting with 2 outs. Already a run is scored here in the 5th inning. Fowler representing the United States, 2008 Summer Olympic Baseball over in Beijing. He was Davy Johnson's everyday center fielder. Team USA taking home the bronze. Ball and 2 strikes. Clayton so far today has just 3 strikeouts. They came consecutively. Gonzalez to end the first, and then Tulowitzki in help to begin the second. It hasn't struck out anyone since. He's given up 2 home runs. 1 to Gonzalez and 1 to Rosario.
I mentioned in game 1 of this series that Dexter Fowler came back to spring training this season so much stronger than he had been in the past. He has a career high 6 home runs. He's got 4 already this season. Spent the offseason working out with Troy Tulowitzki and Jason Giambi. Got a taste of the extra base hit bug in the second half of last season. Had the third most extra base hits in all of baseball last year after the All-Star break, 37 of them.
Swung on and foul tipped into the catcher's glove. Fowler out number 3, strikeout number 4 for Kershaw. But the home run by Rosario gives the Rockies a 2-1 lead. 2-1. Matt Kemp will lead things off for the Dodgers here in the 6th as we take a look at our in-game box score. Dodgers just 2 base hits, both of them singles. Tony Gwynn with 2 outs in the 5th inning. He was stranded at first. And Mark Ellis, 2 out, 2 strike RBI single, giving the Dodgers their only run in the 3rd inning.
Just not enough noise on the right side of that box score. You like lots of noise over there, lots of things going on.
Drew Pomeranz so far today has struck out 4 through his 5 innings of work. He's thrown 85 pitches. Took a while to get back to the middle of the diamond. He had a base hit against Kershaw at the top of this inning. He was on first base for a while, so he had a sip of water or two. Now he's ready to go. It'll be Kemp, Rivera, and Ethier. Let's see if Pomeranz decides to actually pitch to match the time. Walked him twice. In the 3rd, he walked him intentionally. First intentional walk of the season for Matt Kemp.
Pretty much submit that his first walk was pretty much intentional as well. Didn't come close to the strike zone.
Swung on and missed, 0-2. Ball and 2 strikes. Dodgers have won 4 of their last 5 games. Coming to today's action, the best record in the National League. Five strikeouts now for Pomeranz.
Pomeranz just blows him away with a fastball up. Kemp has been a little tardy in this series on fastballs. Let me give you a little theory, and you're not going to like it, and I hope I'm wrong. Everybody's griping about the very first pitch that Matt Kemp saw in that at bat. They all thought was in. Don Mattingly and company are only about 30 feet away from home plate umpire Paul Schreiber, so he can hear everything they're saying.
Juan Rivera takes a breaking ball that goes around the plate. Ball 1.
I hope I'm wrong about this, but I have a theory that I believe that the beginning of a slump comes when a hitter feels he's at his hottest. Because what happens to a hitter is the ball looks so big, you feel like you can hit almost anything.
Broken bat into left field. Juan throws away the handle of the bat, takes a big round at first, and a 1-out base runner for the Dodgers.
And because of that, you start swinging at everything. You start swinging at pitches you wouldn't ordinarily swing at because everything looks so good to you. And you might have a day where you're 1 for 4, but you feel really good. Like in the case of Game 1 of this series, Matt Kemp was 1 for 4, hit a home run. The day before that, at Dodger Stadium, he was 0 for 3. He's 2 for his last 12. He may still be feeling really, really good. He might look up tomorrow and say, goodness, I'm 2 for my last 12. I'm starting to scuffle a little bit, and I was feeling so good. And I just feel like that can be the beginning of a slump when you really feel like you're on top of your game.
Runner on at first, Andre Ethier, 0 for 2 against Pomeranz.
Hoping Matty will break out of that mini slump in his next at bat. I think it's where you have to start getting right back down to basics again. Really get back to the way you feel at the plate, how your stance is, the pitches that you like to hit.
One and two.
And in Matt's case, the walks don't help him either. It kind of takes him out of his rhythm. He goes up there, He saw 8 pitches in his first 2 at-bats, not one of them a strike. Those aren't great at-bats for you personally. Good for the team, you're on base. But to keep your own rhythm going, the walks aren't helping.
Major League Baseball's leader in runs batted in, Andre Ethier. Battling, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Juan Rivera on at first. Two and 2. Drew Pomeranz, first time the Dodgers have seen him. This is the guy who was the centerpiece in the trade that sent Ubaldo Jimenez to the Cleveland Indians. Indians actually sent not only Pomeranz, but another one of their first-round pitchers, a guy by the name of Alex White. So the Indians paid a heavy price to get Jimenez, who has not pitched well in Cleveland. And you get the sense that the Rockies are thrilled to have Jimenez a couple of time zones away. Yesterday before the game, Jim Tracy was talking about last year and the way that the Rockies struggled after a solid first month. Kept mentioning that the guy who's expected to carry the mail from the starting pitching staff just never got it done, never made it into shape, and eventually had to be traded. Never mentioned him by name, but he was talking about Ubaldo Jimenez. Broken bat, softly to the shortstop, Tulowitzki. They get the lead man at second. Ethier safe at first.
There was a little friction between Jimenez and Tulowitzki during that season, and then in spring training, Jimenez drilled Tulowitzki with a pitch. Some more bad blood.
And the thinking was that Jimenez was upset because the Rockies committed long-term to Tulowitzki, and Jimenez had signed an extension, but at not nearly the years or the dollars that Tulowitzki got, and he was chapped.
Well, then you're a victim of your own negotiation at that point then. Don't sign the deal if you don't like it. And if you do sign the deal, abide by it. There's always going to be a guy that comes along behind you and gets more.
Two outs, Ethier on at first, Jerry Hairston 0 for 2. Called strike 1. Because of the trade last summer from Cleveland to the Rockies organization, it's kind of a weird summer for Drew Pomeranz. The way that baseball works, you can't be traded your first calendar year with an organization. He didn't sign right until the deadline after being drafted in 2010. So that was August 15th. The trade went down at the end of July. So we spent 3 weeks with nothing to do. Couldn't play yet for the Rockies. Oh, I think Helton was off the bag at first, but he gets the benefit of the call.
Wait a minute. He wasn't even close to being on the bag.
Helton was a good foot off the bag, and he still gets the out call, and Don Mattingly is incensed.
He came off the base because he couldn't make the play.
I don't even think that was even arguable. First base umpire Tim Welke.
I think Donnie's going to try to get the umpires together, but I don't think they can overturn this type of judgment call. Hairston went past first base knowing he had a hit. It was a done deal.
Steve, what happened here?
Well, someone missed the call. I will watch it again, but I just don't think this was even close. Look at Helton's 2 feet off of first base.
to be. We just saw probably the worst call we're going to see all season long.
Well, Tim Wilkie's the first base umpire right here. He's also the crew chief. Look at the distance between the base and where Helton is. That's 3 feet off the base. Helton's not even trying to steal this call. He came off the bag to make the play. Wow, you're looking at first and second with 2 outs and a chance to score some more runs. That is as bad a call as you'll see all season long.
It would be virtually impossible to see a worse call. 0-1 to Gonzalez. It's now 0-2.
And you know who I am. And
it's
Dodger fans can disagree with me all they want. But the umpiring in Major League Baseball is the best in the world. These guys are amazing. He just kicked that one. And Tim Wilkie, I'm sure, knows he did. And not much he can do about
Don
it.
Mattingly's still in that dugout because of that. Don was upset, and I think Tim Wilkie refused to throw him out of the game because he knew that Don was right.
And I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that's one of those plays, a judgment call at first base, where the umpires cannot get together and change it.
First baseman Rivera backhands, Kershaw covers. And there's the first out at the bottom of the 6th. Gonzalez retired.
Even the Rocky fans are cheering that they got the call right down there at first.
Was this an angle that maybe Welke just couldn't see the bag?
Well, he's looking right through Helton towards first base. He could have been fooled in thinking that he's on the bag because of the angle. But he's so far off the base. Helton's walking back to the dugout in disbelief. I don't believe Helton was trying to steal the call. I really think he was coming off the base just to make the play because the throw pulled him off.
We just saw that replay. Welke stared after he made that out call. He stared at first base, and you can see that the wheels are probably turning in the brain and say, you know what? I think I called that one too quickly. Tulowitzki, a little nubber in front of the mound.
Great athlete, Clayton Kershaw.
So the first 2 outs here in the 6th inning go 3-1 and now 1-3. 2 outs, bases clear.
Clayton Kershaw may have hurt himself on that play. I think that might be an oblique muscle or something. Watch him come. He does a great job of coming off the mound to make this play. Watch him reverse pivot and make the throw. Take another look at it. Keep your eye on Kershaw after he throws the ball. Oh, there's a slip right there. A little slip could be a leg issue, but it kind of looked like he grabbed his side. Telling everybody he wants to stay in. Well, maybe he's just pulling up his belt right there, but definitely not feeling good right there. A.J. Ellis was looking into the dugout. Training staff, Sue Falsone already was on her way out there to see what's going on, and for now Clayton wants to stay in the game. In the meantime, with all the action that we saw, you just see Clayton get out Gonzalez and Tulowitzki again in this inning.
Helton takes a breaking ball for a strike. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout back in the 2nd inning. Kershaw has struck out 4 through 5 2/3.
Every day in Major League Baseball, you're going to see calls that go the wrong way from different games that are being played. But I don't think people really look at the number of plays that they get right. The call at home with A.J. Ellis sliding in today's ball game. Bang, bang play at the plate. Umpire has to make that decision right now. No replays. 9 times out of 10, they're right.
Helton goes the other way, hits it well. Gwynn on the run, reaching for the wall, makes the play before he gets there. Helton hit it hard, but Gwynn runs it down in the corner. A 1-2-3-6. Dodgers still trail the Rockies 2-1.
And you're looking at the two guys for the Rockies that hit home runs, Gonzalez and Rosario. Watch location of the pitch. Tough to pitch up in this ballpark. The fastball belt high to Gonzalez. This one's going to go dead center. And then Rosario, belt high, away, dead center again. Some long balls hit on pitches up in the strike zone. Even Kershaw knows that it's hard for him to get away with pitches up there.
Clayton has won his last 10 decisions since August 13th. Last year, 10-0 with a 1.22 ERA. But the Dodgers trail right now through 6. It's a 2-1 Rocky lead. The winner of today's game takes the series. Drew Pomerantz has thrown 100 pitches on the nose. Here's pitch number 101 to Justin Sellers.
Justin Sellers looking to catch a break. Tulowitzki made a fantastic play on him in his first at bat, and he hit a bullet into the left center field gap that Dexter Fowler round down. Could easily be 2 for 2, and he's 0 for 2.
I predict a 30-foot swinging bunt that he beats out. Baseball gods will reward him. There's no reason to hit the ball on the screws.
Broken bat duck snort over someone's head.
Humpback liner Herrera makes the play. So Sellers 0 for 3 against Pomerantz. 1 up and 1 down. Pomerantz so far through 6 1/3 has struck out 5 Dodgers. He's walked 3. One of those walks was intentional. That was Kemp back in the 3rd inning.
A.J. Ellis walked in the 3rd. Now reached safely in 19 of 20 games. You know he's going to go up there taking pitches. His 3rd at bat is right now, so that's just one pitch that he's seen so far.
1-1 to AJ.
Most impressive thing that I've seen out of Pomerantz today is the cut fastball into righties.
You know, he's thrown up there 88, 89, every once in a while 90, but he's blown it past these Dodger hitters. One, 2. Pomerantz, born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee. Was drafted in the 12th round out of high school by Texas, didn't sign. And had an All-American career at Ole Miss. 2-strike base hit for A.J. Ellis. Dodgers with a threat here in the 7th.
Smart hitting by A.J. Ellis. He saw a couple pitches. The first called strike was the cut fastball. Now late in the count, he's going to come back with it. A.J. goes out and tries to hook that to left field. The ball's bearing in on your hands. You better get the bat head out. You got just enough of that. That bat may have cracked. It died a hero with a base hit to left.
Clayton Kershaw has only thrown 73 pitches. Dodgers just want to sacrifice, so they're going to let Clayton stay in the game. Beautiful.
Unbelievable.
Catcher Rosario. Second time today that Clayton's laid down a successful sacrifice. Ellis in scoring position with 2 outs now.
Cannot roll a sacrifice bunt out there better than he just put it right there. Best in baseball.
Fourth sacrifice on the year for Kershaw, now 6 starts. And Tony Gwynn Jr., who has singled against Pomerantz, will bat here with a chance to tie this game up.
Well, if there's a single from Tony Gwynn, you may see another play at the plate involving A.J. Ellis. He scored the only run of the ball game for the Dodgers on a play at the plate.
Ball gets away from Rosario. That's going to help the cause. Ellis picks up another 90 feet. That'll probably take away the play at the plate possibility.
Well, A.J. Ellis, once again, doing things technically perfect. Watch his secondary lead. Now the pitch gets away. All his momentum already going to third base.
Scored a wild pitch, putting Ellis over at third. This is the second time today the Dodgers have had a runner reach third. Both times it's been A.J. Ellis.
Yeah. Every runner on second base, especially with 2 outs, you can get a little bit more aggressive secondary lead. You know that you have to try to score on a base hit. And then if your momentum's headed towards third, if anything the ball kicks away like it did right there, you're already halfway. Keep going.
Two 2-0 now to Gwynn. Tony with 4 hits in the series. He's 4 for 11. What's the thought process here for Tony? 3-0. You do have a runner on at third. How aggressive do you get?
Tony's going to probably take a couple pitches. Mark Ellis up there, who's been swinging a hot bat over the last few days. I think he's going to be swinging 3-0.
He takes 4 consecutive pitches that miss the mark. And the Dodgers have runners on at the corners with 2 outs. It is Pomeranz tiring. He's now thrown 113 pitches.
Well, this is where Jim Tracy is going to look at a starting pitcher and say, get it done. Get through this inning. Jimmy's been really good at that, making his pitchers go deeper into games. Going to come out and talk to him. He may yank him out of it. Yeah, yes, he is. We saw in the first game with his pitchers over 100 pitches, left him out there and said, if they never get themselves out of trouble, they can never do it.
So that's a new career high in pitches for Drew Pomeranz. He will give way to Matt Belisle. I'll tell you more about him when we come back to Denver. Is a new career high. He leads, but still is responsible for the runners on at first and at third. New pitcher Matt Belisle comes on. Second time we have seen him in this series. He will face Mark Ellis with the Dodgers threatening with 2 outs. A.J. Ellis takes his lead off of third. Tony Gwynn Jr. on at first. And Mark Ellis takes called strike 1 from Belisle.
Belisle's been relied upon heavily out of this bullpen. His 12th appearance, second most in the bullpen for Jim Tracy.
Mark Ellis singled off of Belisle in yesterday's 8th inning. One and one. Ellis with 6 hits in the series. Kind of a weird day for him. RBI single in the 3rd. He's also been called out on strikes in the 1st and in the 5th.
Ooh.
Healthy swing right back to the screen.
That was one of the first times where we've seen Mark Ellis really try to get the bat head out and pull a ball to left field. That looked like his attempt to maybe hit a home run. Generally, he's inside out, tries to drive the ball the other way. Probably go back to that theory now. Gave himself one shot to try to go deep.
We've seen Mark Ellis do some serious work with 2 strikes on him. The last 2 games alone, he has 4 2-strike base hits. Had a 2-strike base hit back in the 3rd, driving in A.J. Ellis. That was just his 2nd hit of the year with a runner in scoring position. Trying to do it again here.
Well, he's really comfortable hitting with 2 strikes because he has to do it a lot. When you think about what his job is.
Little flipper. It's going to hang up. Kadire makes the catch. Side retired. Belisle out of the pen retires Mark Ellis. It's still a 2-1 Rocky lead. Stadium Greats bobblehead series is the 1988 Cy Young Award winner Oral Hershiser. Come to Dodger Stadium Tuesday, May 15th. The Dodgers take on the Diamondbacks and receive your very own mini Bulldog. Compliments of Coca-Cola. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. Oral Hershiser is the last Dodger pitcher to win 11 or more consecutive decisions. Clayton Kershaw a chance to tie him today, but in trouble. Through 6 innings, Dodgers down 2-1.
Kershaw did that way back in 1985. Or Hershiser did it in 85. Kershaw trying to do it today.
Michael Kadire, Willen Rosario, Chris Nelson scheduled to bat here in the 7th inning against Kershaw. Kadire, big swing and a miss. Clayton has given up 2 solo home runs. One to Carlos Gonzalez leading off the 4th. One to Willen Rosario leading off the 5th.
When you think about it, Kershaw's only thrown 76 pitches in this game. And he's had an outstanding outing. He's given up 2 solo shots, only 4 hits on the day. The Dodgers need to get some offense going for him. He's only given up 2 in this stadium. It's a great outing.
Man. Kadire strikes out. Strikeout number 5 for Kershaw.
Change up right there for Kershaw. 74 miles an hour. Unhittable. talked about Kadire, first time facing Kershaw. The Dodgers didn't, none of the Dodgers have ever faced Pomeranz. You can imagine seeing all the pitches that Kadire had seen in his previous at-bats. That's the first changeup he saw. Tied him in knots.
Rosario, one hopper, back to Kershaw. Quickly 2 outs here in the 7th.
I mean, the way that Clayton Kershaw has been throwing, and the fact that he hasn't thrown that many pitches, he could go a complete game today if the Dodgers could figure out a way to score him some runs.
2 down. Chris Nelson. He walked in the 3rd and bounced out to first in the 5th. Nelson down in the count, 0-2. Both the Dodgers and the Rockies with an off day tomorrow. Dodgers will spend their off day in Chicago before a 3-game set against the Cubs over the weekend. Swung on and missed. Couple of strikeouts in the inning. Kershaw now with 6 strikeouts in the game. Dodgers still down 2-1. By Jack in the Box. You can try the new Chipotle Chicken Club Combo for just $4.99 plus tax. By 76 Gas. We're on the driver's side. By San Manuel. Play Lucky 7 Bingo. You could win $100,000 only at San Manuel Indian Bingo and Casino. And by Time Warner Cable. Welcome back, everyone. Denver, Colorado. There's a shot of Red Rocks Amphitheater. I know you're a big U2 guy. Legendary U2 concert over there back in the early 80s.
Come on, John Tesh played up there, man. Come on.
All right. To each his own. Matt Kemp leads things off. It'll be Kemp, Rivera, and Ethier, the scheduled 3. Dodgers down a run. We've made it to the 8th inning. Matt Belisle replacing Drew Pomeranz with 2 outs in the 7th. He retired Mark Ellis on a fly ball to right.
Was just announced that Matt Kemp was the unanimous choice for Player of the Month in the National League. Unanimous.
Why did it take him so long? It's May 2nd. I could have told you probably on April 20th. This one hammered into right center field. Fowler going to have to play it on a hop.
There we go. I told you that I wanted the mini slump to end on this next at-bat. He had been 2 for 12. This is his swing. You try to go down and away from him. He waits for it. He lets that ball get deeper into the strike zone. Everyone thinks you can get him out on that pitch. He says no. That's going back to being Matt Kemp. Good time to get things going for the Dodgers right now.
Great speed on at first base. Be interesting to see if Kemp thinks about taking a base. Juan Rivera takes a breaking ball for a strike.
This is where the cat and mouse game starts to be played. Don Mattingly has guys on the bench he could use to pinch hit. Jim Tracy has more guys in the pen. In fact, double barrel action in the pen right now to counteract any move that Donnie might want to make. Brothers, the lefty in the pen. Looks like Rogers, I think, out there as well.
That's Bill Rogers. We saw him on Monday. The lefty, you'd imagine, is for Andre Ethier, who's on deck. Something to be wary of. Juan Rivera has hit into 5 double plays so far this season. That leads the Dodgers. It's maybe the main reason why the Dodgers are thinking about having Kemp run. Did not have a good read on that pitch to home plate. Kemp was actually heading back to first.
Yep.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Rivera.
Well, if Matt Kemp isn't confident that he can steal a base, you don't want to run into an out here either. You are getting beaten this game 2-1.
Ooh. 2-2. You got to trust the eye of Rivera. He's only struck out twice so far this season.
It's a good eye.
Dodgers have out-hit the Rockies 5-4. All the Dodgers hits have been singles.
Matt does not have a base stealing type lead. Not a big lead at all.
We're going to go full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody out. Top of the 8th inning. Dodgers trailing the Rockies by 1.
Trey Hillman talking it over with Don Mattingly, deciding what they want to do. Don Mattingly has been ultra aggressive in these situations, and I love it. I like the way he plays here. He has confidence that the Rivera will put the ball in play. Matt certainly could steal a base. If he doesn't, even down in this game, I think he's running.
You see Rivera, he chokes up a bit. For a guy who's a run producer, he protects with 2 strikes. Kemp not running. Considering that Rivera has only struck out twice in 63 at-bats, which is an incredible ratio, is really very little reason not for Kemp to go with 3 balls and 2 strikes on Rivera.
Yeah, that surprised me right there. You certainly have Ethier on deck, but I don't think Ethier is going to be facing Belisle. It'll be brothers. They'll bring the lefty in to face Ethier. It'll make it a little bit tougher. Maybe Matt just didn't get a read, as you talked about. He's had a little bit of a tough time reading the move out there at Belisle, which is kind of surprising, only because he's a right-hander. I still think he's going to go. Situation a lot of times in this part of the game where Don Mattingly leaves it up to Davey Lopes and Matt Kemp. You're not telling him he has to go. If you feel good and you get a jump, go. If you don't, stay there.
Another foul ball. Well, if you just trust numbers, the numbers say there's a far more frequent chance of Rivera hitting into a double play. He's hit into 5 of those than him striking out. He's only struck out twice. But Don Mattingly, and to his credit, he has not really been a go-by-the-book type of guy. He manages with his gut, and has been successful more often than not.
He has been aggressive, too. Normally in this situation, he would be going.
Kemp still not running, and it's a line drive caught by the second baseman. If Kemp would have gone to second, he'd have been an easy double play.
Here comes Jim Tracy already calling for the left-hander.
So Andre Ethier will face Rex Brothers, with Kemp on at first and one out. Dodgers need a rally here in the 8th inning. Matt Kemp on at first. Dodgers down a run. Ethier will face Rex Brothers, who has had unabashed success against Ethier. Andre 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts. Only other time we have seen Rex Brothers in this series. In the 7th inning of Monday's game, he faced one man. It was Ethier. Struck him out swinging.
Jim Tracy was talking about it before this series started, that he needed Rex Brothers healthy and ready to go for this exact situation in this series, and this is the second time we've seen it.
Dodgers have not been able to score this entire series off the Colorado bullpen.
One of the things that makes Brothers so tough. Good hard-breaking slider away, which I think is coming right now, but it's fastball, 96.
Didn't get the slider, instead 95 miles per hour with another fastball.
Pretty good rip right there by Andre.
Brothers haven't even really considered Matt Kemp over at first, and Kemp has gotten maybe a 4-foot lead. Kemp leading off this 8th inning with a line drive single to right center. Juan Rivera battled against Matt Belisle, ended up hitting a humpback liner to the second baseman Herrera. Rockies and Dodgers have split the first 2 games of this series. This guy's blowing it up there 97 miles per hour.
On the hands. Ethier doing a great job to battle. If your Brothers in this situation right now, why throw a strike? If you're Ethier, you're hoping to get another one in the zone somewhere. Brothers way ahead in the count at 1 and 2. You throw the ball in the strike zone, Ethier can hit it. Giving a pretty good effort up there. This would be the time to try to get him to go out of the strike zone and swing at something. Tough for Ethier to hold his discipline at 97 miles an hour.
2 strikes on Ethier. Brothers paying a heck of a lot more attention to Kemp on at first. Line drive into left field. Andre wins the battle. Look at Kemp flying around second. He's going to make it to third without a throw.
That is a fantastic at-bat. And really, not very smart pitching. Why would you throw Andre a strike in that situation? You can go out of the zone and get him to swing, maybe. That's just perfect hitting right there by Andre. He got another strike and he hit it. Battled, fouled off a bunch of tough pitches.
So now a decision time for Jim Tracy in the Rockies dugout. Do you leave the left-handed brothers out there to throw to Jerry Hairston? Rogers, a right-hander, is loose and ready, but it appears as if Brothers is going to stay in the game.
Well, Jim Tracy likes his left-handed matchup against Hairston better than his right-handed matchup against anybody that might come off the bench. James Loney.
Oh, back to the backstop, and Kemp can't try it. Kemp can't try it. Ethier does take an extra 90 feet. That takes the double play out of the equation.
I like the decision by Matt Kemp here, even though Rosario still had trouble picking the ball up after he got there. But they have kind of a brick wall as their backstop, and you never know how hard that ball's going to bounce back. Watch how quickly it bounces back. If Rosario gets this, I think Kemp's dead at the plate. He didn't, but Kemp had to make that decision quickly, and I think he made the right one.
That's a wild pitch, the second by Rockies pitching so far in the game. Bob Apodaca, pitching coach, having a conversation with Brothers, Rosario, and the middle infielders. Well, wouldn't this be a great time for Jerry Hairston to get his first Dodger RBI? He's got Kemp on at third. He's got Ethier on at second. The fly ball will probably do the trick.
It's actually amazing that Hairston has no RBIs. He's hit safely in 10 of the 14 games he's played in. He's hitting .300. He's made some ridiculous defensive plays. It's odd to see a goose egg in that RBI slot for him.
Middle of the infield playing back, conceding the run. That one misses high and outside. And now Tulowitzki and Herrera moving in a little bit closer.
And back out again. We've seen the infield in this series a few times. We've seen the infield in more than I've seen in years past already this year in ball games. And in this case, they're playing back.
Hairston with 43 at bats with the Dodgers hasn't driven in a run, even though the batting average has been fairly consistent. He's hitting .279. Three and one.
This isn't an easy guy to hit because he's all over the place and he's rushing it up there mid-90s. It's not a comfortable at bat. You can't dig in. You can't really rely on, even in a 3-1 count, Hairston can't really rely on seeing a dead red fastball in the strike zone.
Hard past the third baseman. This will score a pair. Ethier digging around third. The Dodgers take a 3-2 lead on the double by Jerry Hairston. Perfect time for his first two Dodger ribbies. Lot to like about the veteran Hairston. He just continually gives you good at bats.
Getting his opportunities to play, and really doing a great job with it, and this is a bullet down at third. See Herrera giving it his best shot to try to catch it off the top of his glove. That's Nelson down at third, rather. Matt Kemp happy, telling Ethier, come on, follow me in here. Well, that's a huge break that the Dodgers needed to get them back on top 3-2 with Kershaw still on the mound.
So the Dodgers have them right where they want them. Another one-run game here in Denver. Talking about it, let's take a look at today's AT&T U-verse Reverse Replay. Dodgers continue to play wonderful baseball in close games, 12-4 in games decided by 1 or 2 runs. They're 9-3 in one-run games, including last night, winning 7-6.
Dodger baseball in 2012, not for the faint of heart, that's for sure. If you get nervous sitting in front of your TV, you might want to hide your eyes right now.
Couple of changes here. New pitcher Esmail Rogers comes on for the second time in the series. We saw him on Monday go a third of an inning. Defensively behind him, Herrera moves over to third. Scudero comes in to play second, and the Dodgers send James Loney to the plate. So Justin Sellers is now out of the game.
Well, when we saw Rogers, it was in the 7th inning of that ball game with the bases loaded. Came in and struck out Matt Kemp. Comes in today's ball game with an ERA of 6. He sure did a good job in that 7th inning when he struck out Kemp. Brothers struck out Ethier, and then Rivera popped up, and the Dodgers didn't score.
One ball, one strike to Loney. James has always hit well in this ballpark. 9 of his 68 career homers have come here at Coors Field. Hairston, the runner, on at second. Still just 1 out. Loney goes the opposite way. That one will fall foul.
Dodgers doing a great job late in the ball game here of just taking what the Rocky bullpen will give them. That man right there led off the inning with an opposite field base hit. Then Ethier, tremendous at bat against a guy throwing 97, went the other way. That got things started, and then set the stage for Jerry Hairston, who had no RBIs on the year, just blasted a double past Nelson at third base.
Ball and 2 strikes to Loney. 2-2. Dodgers now with 3 hits. Check that, 3 runs on 7 hits. Kershaw, the imagine going to stay in the game. He has been efficient with his pitches. Still got a lot of bullets, you'd imagine.
He can go 9. And he might have to. Kenley Jansen not available in today's ball game. Neither is Josh Lindblom. Javi Guerra looked dominating in his save last night.
So far, it's been just 81 pitches for Kershaw through 7 innings. After Loney, it's the catcher A.J. Ellis, and then Kershaw's spot in the lineup comes up. Outside, 97 miles per hour. The count's full, 3-2. This situation actually may force the Dodgers' hand, with Kershaw in the hole, not on deck, but in the hole. Jim Tracy may be able to force Don Mattingly to make a decision.
We'll see how it plays out when it gets to that spot, but it'll be awfully difficult for Don Mattingly to take him out of this ballgame.
Did he go too far? He did. Loney strikes out swinging on a pitch down in the dirt for the second out of this 8th inning.
They get to the 3-2 count. Rogers has a good breaking ball, throws it in the dirt. Loney just can't hold up on that pitch. Was expecting a fastball, didn't get it.
Two outs, Hairston on at second. A.J. Ellis, 1 for 2 with a walk. Adam Kennedy has come in the on-deck circle. Maybe this is just a ruse.
It's going to have a lot to do with what A.J. Ellis does here at the plate, determining what Don Mattingly does going forward.
Maybe more indicative of who's in the on-deck circle is you should look to the center field bullpen. And just right now is someone getting up and loose. This is former Rocky Jamie Wright. (2-0). There's a strike.
A.J. Ellis doesn't make very many quick outs. He sees so many pitches up there, but if he does make a quick out, there's no question that Kershaw runs back out there to pitch.
To me, it makes a lot of sense if you're the Rockies to walk A.J. Ellis and make the Dodgers make a decision about Kershaw.
This inning has taken a long time to play out. Kershaw's been sitting on the bench for 25 minutes in this inning.
Two and two now to Ellis. Pops it up out of play. Ellis continues to see a whole bunch of pitches every at bat. Inning began when Matt Kemp singled to right center field. Juan Rivera, humpback liner to the second baseman. Andre Ethier, great at bat against Rex Brothers, resulted in a single. Wild pitch put Ethier to second. Jerry Hairston a double down the line, driving in a pair. Dodgers lead 3-2.
Dodger hitters in this inning. Outstanding job of fighting off pitches that are tough pitches to hit. Can't handle much of it. Foul it off, get another one. Looking for a mistake is A.J. Ellis now. See if maybe Rogers will hang a breaking ball. Up
high. So another full count for A.J. Ellis. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Look at the number of pitches he's seen so far this afternoon. 25 pitches. And he'll see another.
Can get your starter out of the game just all by himself. Came into this game seeing 4.7 per at-bat. Has exceeded that in each of his at-bats today.
See another. What a pleasant surprise A.J. Ellis has been this year. We know the work he can do defensively and working with the staff, but the at-bats he's been able to string together. Hairston still on at second. High pop-up. This should end the inning. Herrera calls for it, makes the play, side retired. But Jerry Hairston picks a great time to get his first couple. Dodger runs batted in. Double down the third base line. Dodgers on top, 3-2. Home half of the 8th as we come back. Bottom of the 8th inning, Clayton Kershaw with 6 more outs to get. So far today, the only damage done by the Rockies, a solo home run by Gonzalez in the 4th, a solo shot by Rosario in the 5th. Clayton in line for win number 3 this year because of Jerry Hairston Jr. and the 2-run double on the left field line in the top part of this 8th inning.
I'm not going to make any excuses, and I know the guy out there on the mound would never do it either, but it has been 33 minutes since the last time he made a pitch. That was a very long inning for a guy to go this deep into a ball game and then sit on the bench that long and cool down.
Marco Scutaro, his first at bat today against Kershaw. He came on defensively. Scutaro's had a nice series with the bat in his hands. Had 2 hits in yesterday's game. Had 2 hits in Monday's game. Takes up high, maybe inside. 2 balls and a strike. Dodgers defensively now have James Loney at first, D. Gordon at short. Good strike, makes it full. 3-2. for Scudero. Dodgers have the day off tomorrow. They'll spend it in Chicago. And then on Friday, Chad Billingsley will get the ball. He'll be opposed by Paul Maholm, longtime Pittsburgh Pirate, his first season with the Cubs. Maholm off to a rough start. The Cubs off to a rough start. Dodgers will look to take advantage of Wrigley Field. 3-day games, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Jonathan Herrera bats. Shows bunt. Takes high.
Herrera can handle the bat up there. He can bunt if you need him to, which looks like what they've asked him to do. But he can also slug bunt or butcher boy, pull it back and take a swing at it. And he's got good speed.
Kershaw throws to Ellis, covering for the first out. The way that Clayton jumped off the mound, I thought that he was thinking about going to second.
Kershaw won a Gold Glove last year, and you can see why. He does everything fundamentally perfect when he comes off the mound. He did get in there quickly, and then really just kind of spun around through it to first. Almost really didn't look down at second after he came running in there and picked it up. I don't think he had a play down there. Got the sure out.
So Scudero checks into second. Dexter Fowler came into the day. .423 batting average against Kershaw, but a whole bunch of nothing this afternoon. 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Clayton has 6 strikeouts through 7 1/3. Dodgers are going to have to go through the heart of this Rockies lineup one more time. After Fowler, Carlos Gonzalez, Troy Tulowitzki, Todd Helton, and Michael Kadire.
Clearly the way for Clayton Kershaw to do it would be to get the next 2 guys out. Then you're halfway through the middle of that order. Can start over in the 9th.
.91 pitches thrown by Kershaw.
I think if there's one time for Dexter Fowler to look fastball and try to air it out, this would be the time and the place for it against Kershaw.
2-0 on the ground. That's going to make it through. Scudero being waved around. He'll make it without a throw. We're tied at 3.
Kershaw knows that in this inning, it's basically his fault that the run scored. Got behind Marco Scudero, had to come into him. He got the base hit and got behind Dexter Fowler. Had to throw him a good pitch to hit.
So the game tied at 3. Fowler on at first. He can really run. Carlos Gonzalez steps in. He homered in the 4th. Carlos Gonzalez has been Matt Kemp hot since April 24th. 6 homers, 16 runs batted in. A little over a week's worth of games. Called strike.
Rook Gonzalez down and away.
Ball gets away from Ellis, and it's going to allow Fowler to amble over to second. It'll be a wild pitch. third wild pitch we've seen in today's game. 2 by the Rockies pitching staff. First one there for Kershaw. Just his second wild pitch of the season. Now a man in scoring position for Gonzalez. And he's got a good hitter's count, 2-1. Center field, gone. A home run, Carlos Gonzalez, his second of the game.
Well, there's your new hottest player in baseball right there. Cargo got another pitch up in the strike zone. One thing to get a pitch up in the zone, and it's quite another thing to not miss him. Been a tough inning for Clayton Kershaw.
First time in Clayton Kershaw's career he has given up 3 home runs in a game. Before today's game, Carlos Gonzalez was just 3 for 18 against him. He's touched him up for 2 homers today and 3 runs batted in. So the Dodgers come back and take a 3-2 lead. Rockies take it right back. New pitcher to tell you about when we come back to Denver. Three home runs allowed, gives up 5 earned runs, and he's been lifted. Carlos Gonzalez got him for 2 of those home runs. What an impressive series for Gonzalez. New pitcher for the Dodgers. Former Rocky Jamie Wright, his first pitch to Troy Tulowitzki is a called strike 1.
Here's a number for you. Colorado Rockies that now have scored 44 runs in the 7th inning or later. That's best in all of baseball. That'll get you some comeback victories.
Pitch misses inside. Tulowitzki and the man who's pitching to him, Jamie Wright, both first-round draft picks for the Rockies. Jamie Wright was taken in the first round back in 1993, 19 years ago. He's been plugging away. 1-1 pitch. Misses inside. out the Dodgers were able to record here in this 8th inning was on a sacrifice bunt laid down by Herrera. And the beat continues. Single for Tulowitzki. He's on at first with 1 out. Story of the day has been Carlos Gonzalez. This guy, red hot right now.
He's the hottest player in the game right now, making another bid for Player of the Week. But he got balls up in the strike zone. That's belled high. Kershaw knew it as soon as he threw it. He didn't get it away from him, and then they tried to get the ball down and away from him in the 8th inning and couldn't get it there either. Another belt high fastball, squaring those pitches up. Doesn't take much more than that in this ballpark.
So Kershaw on the hook. Tulowitzki on at first. Todd Helton, the batter. Dodgers have made another change. A double switch with Wright coming into the game. Wright will now be inserted into the 7th spot in the lineup. Adam Kennedy replaces James Loney at first. Kennedy moves in the number 9 spot in the lineup. So Kennedy will lead things off when we get to the 9th inning. Dodgers hoping they're still down by 2 heading to the 9th, but there's still work to be done. Only 1 out recorded here in the home half of the 8th.
Certainly one of the more trying innings we've ever seen Clayton Kershaw have. Falling behind hitters and giving up base hits. And then getting to the meat of the order with a guy like Cargo, who already took him deep once and got him again.
To Helton. On 4 pitches, Jamie Wright walks his former teammate.
Seen Jamie Wright come in and be absolutely lights out at times with great movement on the sinking fastball and a good slider. Occasionally he gets a little haywire with his mechanics and the ball will start to run on him.
Michael Kadire 1 for 3 against Kershaw. Another called strike 0-2. Inning began when Marco Scutaro single to left field. Moved to second on the sacrifice by Herrera. Dexter Fowler drove in Scutaro, single to center field. And then a home run by Carlos Gonzalez deep over the right center field wall. That spelled the end of Kershaw. Jamie Wright has given up a single to Tulowitzki and walked Helton. And he has come back to strike out Kadire on 3 pitches.
Sometimes you walk up there as a hitter and you don't get one pitch you're looking for. Tip your hat and go sit down.
Two runners still on, 2 outs now. The catcher, Willen Rosario. Breaking ball, strike 1. Right now in a rhythm. Damien Wright was a Rocky on 2 separate occasions. Told you he was drafted in the first round in 1997. Made it to the big leagues in 96, spent 96, 97, 98, 99 with the Rockies. Moved on to Milwaukee and other teams. Came back in 2004 and 2005. Spent a couple of summers here in Denver. This is a guy pitching in his 17th big league season. Not only 17 years at the big league level, at least some big league time, but in 12 seasons, he has had a little bit of minor league time as well.
Would be the definition of up and down, wouldn't it?
He's a guy who began the season 36 games below 500. But each and every year he's invited to someone's spring training, and inevitably he makes a team. Up and in, 3-1. Tulowitzki, the runner on at second. Helton on at first.
Better have something with movement on this pitch. He just came up and into a guy who's already gone deep once. He'll be swinging this bat with some bad intent.
You're not lying. Fouls it back to the screen. 3-2.
This is a home run swing right here. Ball got thrown up and in on him the pitch before, and now he's saying, ugh. Didn't get a good pitch to swing at, but he wanted all of it. They say he has 30 home run power if he gets regular playing time.
3-2 pitch, pulled the string on it. Rosario strikes out. So Wright strikes out Kadire and Rosario to end the inning. But the Rockies trying to protect a 2-run lead as we go to the ninth. Of the Kings-Blues matchup tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. only on Prime Ticket. The Dodgers, to a man, have become Kings fans.
Wish my LA team good luck in the playoffs.
Let's go Kings. Good job taking it to the Blues so far and bring home a Stanley Cup championship.
Just want to wish the Kings good luck in the playoffs and, you know, bring it to the house. Go Kings. Bam.
I love the bam at the end of it. Exciting time in LA for sports right now. Already a great day for the Dodgers with the announcement of the new ownership group taking over at Dodger Stadium earlier this morning. Dodgers are trying to make a nice comeback to finish off the day. Rafael Betancourt will try and hold the Dodgers down, trying to protect a 2-run lead as we make it to inning number 9.
Betancourt, the former shortstop in the Red Sox organization, does have 27 saves in his major league career. He did have a season in 03 in the minor leagues where he saved 16 in a season. Saved 8 for Colorado last year. That's his career high at the major league level.
Dodgers will have Adam Kennedy leading things off. Tony Gwynn Jr. will follow. Then Mark Ellis. If anyone gets on, Matt Kemp, Juan Rivera, and Andre Ethier. Rivera will be out. He was replaced defensively, so after Kemp, it'll be a decision for Don Mattingly. Dodgers can only hope they get that far.
Well, in this stadium, you need a bloop and a blast to tie it.
First pitch, ball one to Adam Kennedy. He entered the game in the double switch that brought Jamie Wright into the game. As it stands right now in the batting order, it would be D. Gordon hitting after Matt Kemp. 1-1 now to Kennedy.
Betancourt now 37 years old. He's been everywhere. Just in his 9th major league season.
Another called strike. Lifted into left center field. That one will get down. So a good start to the 9th inning. Adam Kennedy, just his 3rd Dodger base hit. So now Tony Gwynn will step in. Gwynn 1 for 7 lifetime against Betancourt. He's had a nice series. 4 hits so far in 3 games against the Rockies. He's reached each of his last 2 times up, a single in the 5th and a walk in the 7th.
Dodgers need to do everything possible to stay out of a double play situation. If they can do that, Matt Kemp will hit in this inning.
Gwynn has not hit into a double play so far this year. Down in the count 0-2.
Dodgers haven't faced a defense with Tulowitzki at shortstop with the ability to turn a double play like he can. Strongest arm in the National League as a shortstop. Makes up for some speed.
Time is called by the home plate umpire, Paul Schreiber. Jonathan Herrera began the game at 2nd, the double play partner with Tulowitzki. Herrera is now over at 3rd, and the sure-handed Marco Scudero is the 2nd baseman. One and two. Dodgers 10 games over 500, best record in the National League. Two balls, 2 strikes. Kennedy on at first. Dodgers just looking for base runners. Betancourt has made a career out of taking his time. May have hung a breaking ball and Gwynn missed it. First out here in the ninth inning. Immediately when this game comes to a close, don't go anywhere. Dodgers Live coming up next. Big day in Dodger franchise history. Earlier this morning at Dodger Stadium, a new ownership group being announced. We will hear from Magic Johnson what he had to say earlier today. That and much more. Jim Watson will join us. Here's the former Rocky, Mark Ellis. Aggressively swings at the first pitch and fouls it off of Rosario's face mask.
Good time for Ellis to come to the plate here. Generally an off-field hitter, a lot of room to run out in that outfield. Opposite field base hit here would take Kennedy to third and bring Matt Kemp to the plate.
Trying to pick up Clayton Kershaw. Clayton's won his last 10 decisions. Dates back to last August. One and two. Clayton went 7 1/3, gave up 7 hits, 5 runs. They were all earned. The big problem was the home run ball. Gave up a solo home run to Willem Rosario, and then 2 homers to that man, Carlos Gonzalez. A solo shot in the 4th, and a 2-run blast in the 8th.
First time in his career he's ever given up 3 home runs in a start.
Every one of them was earned. All 3 homers drilled. 1-2. Bedford is still rushing up there. He strikes out Ellis. There are now 2 outs. The Dodgers' last hope will be Matt Kemp.
Here comes Jim Tracy.
This will be interesting to see how they play it out. Because of a couple of double switches after Kemp, D. Gordon is the next scheduled hitter. Is there any chance that the Rockies intentionally walk Kemp to get to D. Gordon?
I'd say no chance if Adam Kennedy became the tying run, but he doesn't. Matt Kemp's the tying run. D. Gordon's up next. They're not going to put him on intentionally.
I think they are.
But they.
Oh, Tulowitzki.
Now he's standing
They're going to intentionally walk Kemp to put the tying run on it first.
I saw Rosario sit behind the plate, so I thought they were going to pitch to him. Don Mattingly now talking to D. Gordon about what he expects out of his at-bat. Here's the thing. D. Gordon isn't noted for his power. He did have his first home run in this ballpark. The outfield will back up, but if you hit one into the gap, Matt Kemp has speed that can score all the way from first base.
This isn't quite Buck Showalter walking Barry Bonds with the bases loaded, but it's still pretty gutsy and unconventional for Jim Tracy. So the Dodgers now have the potential tying run on at first in the speedy Matt Kemp. Adam Kennedy in front of him on at second, and D. Gordon will bat.
So Matt Kemp came into the game today having gone 90 at-bats without an intentional walk, and he's been intentionally walked twice today.
Kemp not being held on at first as you'd imagine, so he's got a huge lead. He's going to be off with the crack of a bat. Betancourt misses high. And now you're really walking along the razor's edge, because after Gordon, you've got Andre Ethier.
There's a huge gap right in there for D. Gordon. If he hits a line drive, almost up the middle, could roll for a while. I think Jim Tracy figured that he has a much better chance of Matt Kemp not tying this game while standing on first than he did at the plate. After Gordon, you got Ethier.
And if Ethier gets up, Matt Kemp will have to at least be on at second. 2 outs, top of the 9th inning. Dodgers down a pair. The 2-2 pitch. We'll do it again.
D. Gordon with 2 strikes has shortened down. Penn is slapping at the ball. You'd have to really get out in front of one and maybe pulling down the right field line now for Matt to score. And he's really just kind of trying to flip it out there, trying to keep it in play with 2 strikes.
This one's going to plug the gap. Kennedy's going to score. Kemp steaming towards third. He's being waved around. Here comes the throw. The slide. Dodgers have tied it. Jim Tracy took a chance and it backfired. We're tied at 5.
They left such a huge gap in right field. They were playing him the other way in center field. If you went down the right field line or put it in that gap, you had a chance. Great at bat by D. Gordon. And you got to give Tim Wallach a lot of credit. He's sending Matt Kemp against the best arm in baseball right there. Tulowitzki turned and threw too quickly. He had more time. You see Kemp flying around second. Tulo's going to get the ball in his hands with a great chance to throw him out. You don't get the Bison from that far away.
And now another intentional walk. Jim Tracy hadn't learned his lesson. They're going to put Ethier on. A 5-5 tie. This takes Kershaw off the hook. His streak of 10 straight wins in his last 10 decisions will stay intact. Dodgers are going to have runners at first and at second with 2 outs. The next man in line is Jerry Hairston. All he did his last time up is hit a 2-run double down the left field line. Hats off to D. Gordon. What a good at bat.
And outside of D. Gordon, there's only one other man on the Dodgers that could have scored on that play, and that's Matt Kemp. D. Gordon fouled off some tough pitches, got to the point where he just wanted to put the ball in play, got a pitch to handle. This ball isn't hit really hard, but look at the outfield, how spread out they are. It took him a long time. Kadire had to run all the way over to get it. Tulowitzki maybe rushed his throw right there. It was offline. I wouldn't have wanted to see, if I'm Rosario and Matt Kemp in a collision at home plate, goodness.
So the ninth continues. Gordon on at second. Ethier follows him. He's on at first. Jerry Hairston 1 for 4. Drove in his first 2 Dodger runs. just an inning ago. Rafael Betancourt, the blown save. Dodgers trying to take the lead.
And this is Betancourt's game, too. There's nobody in the pen. Maybe they're starting to stir around now. We've talked about how overworked that bullpen has been. They've been brilliant, but not right now.
Inning began a single by Kennedy. Back-to-back strikeouts of Gwynn and Ellis, and then the unconventional decision by Jim Tracy to walk Matt Kemp intentionally. It backfires. D. Gordon, a two-strike single, make it a two-strike double into left center.
The only way the Dodgers have a chance to tie the ball game, really, is in that situation where someone hits a ball into the gap and Matt Kemp could score all the way from first.
Ball and 2 strikes. Gordon will be off with the crack of the bat.
That's the other thing. You're not throwing Gordon out. If Jerry Hairston gets one through the infield, D. Gordon walks home with the go-ahead run. The outfield playing their normal depth, but with 2 outs and the jump that Gordon can get off of second base, with his speed, you can forget about even a throw at the plate.
Betancourt's 1-2. Jerry's seen everything he has to offer.
Another good at bat. We've seen Dodger after Dodger foul off nasty pitches from the entire pitching staff of the Rockies today. They keep battling, and they've been winning battles lately. 9 hits now for the Dodgers. A.J. Ellis himself saw more than 25 pitches.
Here's the 1-2. Driven down the left field line. This one is fading. It is foul. Steve just taking a look down the close to the Dodger dugout. Unusual scene there. Mark Ellis is actually the man in the on-deck circle. That's nowhere close to when Mark Ellis is supposed to bat. We're about 5 batters away from his turn, but I guess you have to have a man on deck at all times. Dodgers just playing by the rules.
It'll be Jamie Wright's spot in the order, and they want Ellis up there to help if they have a play at the plate to tell Gordon to slide or not.
There will be no play at the plate. Betancourt strikes out Jerry Hairston, but the Dodgers continue in this game, a 5-5 tie, courtesy of D. Gordon. The 5-5 tie, bottom of the ninth inning. What a last 24 hours it's been for the youngster.
Came into the series with 4 RBIs. He went deep in yesterday's ball game off the facing of the upper tank, 403 feet away. That drove himself in, and then today came down to the last swing, basically drives the ball into the gap. The Rocky outfielders gave him some room over there, and then Matt Kemp did the rest. Adam Kennedy scored ahead of him. Matt Kemp comes in with the tying run. And you got to think that the advantage may go to the Dodgers now because of how beat up the bullpen of the Rockies are. Now remember, 2 members of the bullpen for the Dodgers are not available today. Kenley Jansen, who threw a ton of pitches yesterday, and also Josh Lindblom.
Jamie Wright stays in the game for the Dodgers. We'll face a pinch hitter. This is Eric Young Jr. He takes ball 1.
Eric Young Jr. made his 2nd start of the season yesterday. They say he's really accepted his role of being a utility guy, and they say he's really been directly involved in about 5 of their victories because of his hustle and speed.
He's ahead in the count, 2 balls, no strikes. After Young, it'll be Marco Scutaro, then the top of the lineup, Jonathan Herrera. Jason Giambi is still always an option coming off that bench for the Rockies. 2-1 now to Eric Young Jr. His dad played for both the Rockies and the Dodgers, of course. Comes some good stock. Wow. 3-1.
Told you at the outset of this day that seems like a long time ago now. The Dodgers, in games decided by 1 or 2 runs, are 12-4. You look up at the scoreboard again, it's a 5-5 tie.
Three and 2 now to Eric Young. Big pitch. This is down low. Leadoff walk here in the ninth. Young can fly. A great speed aboard at first. That means a lot of options for the Rockies.
That's the wrong guy to walk.
Marco Scutaro came on defensively in the 8th inning. Had a leadoff single in the 8th and came around to score on the single by Dexter Fowler. It was a 3-run 8th inning that gave the Rockies a 5-3 lead. And chased Clayton Kershaw. The Dodgers able to take Clayton off the hook with 2 runs of their own in the top of the ninth.
Rockies have an option here of trying to go ahead and steal the base or bunting him over. Young has stolen 4 bases and has not been caught this year.
Scutaro has faced Jamie Wright 14 times over the years, has just 1 hit against him. Rockies know the numbers. May elect to put the bunt down here. Oh, Herrera was off the bag at first. Wright didn't see it. I want to peel down the first base line. No swing. So it's ball 1. Well, that was Young who was well off first.
Well, he made an attempt to bunt that ball. That's what A.J. Ellis was arguing about. Young got such a big jump, he scared himself. What you got to do as a pitcher, stop the runner. Young's trying to get what they call a walking lead. He'll keep moving until Jamie Wright does something to stop him. Get his lead. Watch him inch his way off.
2-0. Neither side has turned a double play so far today.
I believe Scudero right there was taking all the way. Got to throw strikes in this situation. I don't think he's going to be bunting here either. May turn around and act like he's going to bunt, but he's taking.
Jamie Wright has come out of the bullpen. He's already walked a pair. There goes Young. Run out of second, not in time. That's actually much ado about nothing. The pitch was called ball 4. So it's a walk, back-to-back walks by Jamie Wright here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Why the heck did they have Eric Young running on a 3-0 pitch?
I don't think it's the smartest play in the game, but Eric Young runs well enough to steal bases. Had it been a called strike, now you can bunt him to third.
Don't forget, folks, immediately when this game comes to a close, Dodgers Live coming your way. A lot of things to talk about. This has been an eventful day, both here and at Dodger Stadium. Clayton Kershaw giving up 3 home runs. Dodgers coming back. Jim Tracy, some unconventional moves. And now drama, bottom of the 9th inning. Rick Honeycutt going to have a conversation.
This is more about giving Scott Elbert a little more time out in the pen. Nobody was throwing in the pen. It looked like it was going to be Jamie Wright's game. Now, Honeycutt's probably going to stand out there until the home plate umpire comes and tells him he has to go back. This is all about getting more pitches under his belt out there for Scott Elbert. You come and yell at him, tell him to get back in there. Little defensive conversation, trying to make sure everyone knows what their assignments are here in case it's another bunt situation.
Scudero was trying to bunt, and Wright threw 4 straight balls to him. Now here's Herrera. He laid down a successful sacrifice his last time up. Shows bunt, gets it down. Kennedy's got a chance at third. He muffs it. Dodgers do get an out at first, but they had a real play to get the lead man out at third.
That's what happens when you make a mistake offensively. Herrera was supposed to try to bunt that ball down the third base line. Kennedy had a good break on it. You see where he's starting from, where he comes from. He's got a definite chance to throw the guy out at third base. Drops the ball and takes the out at first.
That's one of those times when you'd like to have a left-handed throwing first baseman. That plays a lot easier if you're James Loney as opposed to Adam Kennedy. All right, runners at second and third, 1 out, and Jason Giambi will bat. What a decision here. If you don't want to pitch to Jason Giambi, if you want to walk him and load the bases and set up a force, all you got to do is face Carlos Gonzalez.
Well, if you decide to do that, you got one of 2 choices. Mattingly's going to come out. Well, he was thinking about coming out, and now he is. That means they're going to have to take Wright out of the ball game, and Elbert's going to come in, and he may just face both of them. If you get Giambi out, you can walk Gonzalez.
So Jamie Wright walks the first 2 men of the 9th inning. A sacrifice makes it second and third. We'll have a new pitcher when we come back. 5-5 tie. Rockies have runners at second and third. And Steve, there's a whole bunch of different things that could happen here.
Well, they brought 5 infielders in. Andre Ethier has now come into the infield. Looks like he's going to play first base, which leads me to believe that they're probably going to pitch to Giambi here. They obviously could put him on base. Then you'd have to pitch to Gonzalez, who already has 2 home runs in this game. With a chance of getting a double play. Looks to me like they want to get Giambi out if they can, then decide what they're going to do with Cargo. And I'd be putting him on quick if it was me.
Tony Gwynn has now moved to right. Kemp is in left center. Scott Elbert, his first pitch misses outside. Elbert out of the pen in an exceedingly difficult situation. Should he get past Giambi, Carlos Gonzalez, already a couple of homers today.
And Eric Young extremely fast coming down the third baseline.
This is going to end it. Only question, will it stay in the park? Jason Giambi sends the folks here in Denver home happy. A 3-run shot off to Scott Elbert. Talk about a game of back and forth. Dodgers really rallied, but Jason Giambi ends it with a big fly.
You really felt like Jason Giambi came to this organization almost as an afterthought 2.5 years ago. They love the way he plays. They love what he adds to this team in the clubhouse. And in that situation right there, he's had some big hits and some huge home runs in his time as a Rocky.
So in total, the Rockies blast 4 homers off of Dodger pitchers, and they win it. Jim Tracy got burned with a decision that he made in the top of the 9th inning, but Jason Giambi takes him off the hook with a 3-run shot here.
Had to try to get the ball away from Giambi. Didn't want to let him pull the ball. That one didn't get away. It was a theme of the day. Left-handed pitchers for the Dodgers who could not get the ball to the outer half of the plate to the left-handed hitters, both Gonzalez twice and Giambi once, both of them hitting home runs.
You know, just an incredible day of baseball here at Coors Field. A lot of things to talk about. Don't go anywhere. Jim Watson's going to take over. Dodgers Live coming your way. Dodgers lose Game 3 of the series, and they lose the series in total against the Rockies. 8-5 is the final score.